Hello, everybody, and welcome to the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars down there, who's gotten caught with his headset down, and King Conrad DeLong right here.
And we're twinsies today.
I know we are.
You got my memo about wear a blue shirt and no pants.
We can't.
Well,
hear. What did you say?
I didn't get the email.
We sent it to you. You just didn't read it.
Well,
ask all of your Zoomers who are calling you saying they didn't get the email either.
So at any rate, we've got a great lineup of guests on today's show. If we can get them in on Zoom, and it's going to be good. So we invite you to stay tuned. We've got a nice 2.5-hour little segment lined out for you today. And if you are just joining us on a podcast, well, stay tuned, because in the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear everything that you wanted to hear and more. Or not. So, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? Are we ready, Mr. Mars?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so joining us right now via Zoom is Randy Sanderlin with the Skyline Jeep Club and Norma Jessup with the Jeep 4-Wheel Adventures Group. Hi, you guys. And you guys are together. Huh? You know what? Your audio sounds terrible. I'm not exactly sure. Do you have a microphone on there, or what is that about?
It does have a microphone, but it's not that great. It's just a laptop computer.
Yeah, but turn the volume back down a little bit.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of feeding back in. So is that your IT manager there in the background with the beard?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds a little bit better. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Well, it's good to see you guys. I wanted to find out from you the very first thing out of the box this morning. Last time we talked, you guys were down there by Minute Maid Park and with a bunch of your friends and club members down there. Things have changed since the last time we talked, and I wanted to talk to you about being a couple of clubs that you represent, one Skyline Jeep Club and the other one Jeep 4-Wheel Adventures. How are things going as far as clubbing is concerned with your members and the whole COVID thing? I mean, it's been kind of difficult, has it not?
Yeah, it has. There's a lot of groups not doing meetups at all. There's a few that are doing a lot of meetups still. And
Hey, Randy.
So I tell you what,
Randy, turn the volume back down a little bit.
What we're going to do is we're going to let Mr. Mars work on you guys' audio, because it's really bad.
And I think your speaker volume's up real high, so it's feeding back into the microphone.
Whatever the case
so turn
may
your
be.
speaker
So
volume down.
so everybody just hang tight. We're going to put them on hold, let Mr. Mars and Randy and Norma work on their audio. Sorry about that. We know that we should have had checked that before we went on the air. But at any rate, I guess the conversation is really about what clubs are doing as far as COVID and, clubbing, going places, meeting up and that sort of thing. I just find it very difficult for clubs to be able to get together unless you social distance and are really cognizant of the fact that everybody needs to wear a mask. And, that has been really a new subject that has really been driven in the past couple of weeks about masking up. Yes, we're unmasked here for your listening and viewing pleasure. But
otherwise, we sound like this.
Yeah, it actually don't even sound that good. It sounds like you're talking from under the covers.
Again? Don's whispering sweet nothings under the covers.
Yeah. So, at any rate, we can only imagine that it would be very difficult for a club to get together with other club members in a closed atmosphere. And speaking of which, there is no Autorama. Autorama would start this coming week. As a matter of fact, move-in would be on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And the opening day is, I think, at lunchtime on Thanksgiving Day. And so all of that's been canceled for this year.
Right.
And it's a real shame because, it's one of the things that I truly enjoy us going to.
Yep.
And we always have great guests. We always get to see Gene Winfield, and he always draws a crowd.
Oh, he draws a huge crowd. And he's a hoot of an interview. He's just a fun guy to interview because he's just another car guy, even though he is a little bit more of a car god. And when you look at his history of people that he has taught the art of, all the metalworking that he does, and his inner relationship with all of these people, I didn't realize how so many of the other big car modifiers, you know,
all of the car shows that are on, everybody knows Gene Winfield,
and to a degree have worked with or under or next to Winfield in their history, in their past or something, when they're youth. So
they even bring him on their show.
Oh yeah, well, it's because everybody knows who he is.
Yes, and anyway, so when we go to Autorama, Gene is usually a guest, and he draws a huge crowd. Everybody seems to be looking at the Suze down there making her nest. Right down there, I think you can see it on the monitor. And so the Suze is here. She got a bath yesterday, by the way, and she.
So you and her bathed?
No,
no, that's right. Today's Saturday. That's your bath day.
That's my bath day on Saturday
versus Monday, which is Mars's bath day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're not even going to go there, I don't think.
Well,
Jeff is waving us off going, no.
Well, one of the other big shows we always like to go to is Keels and Wheels. Bob Fuller's online with us, and he said they are right now, since they canceled this year, they are back on for May 1st and 2nd of 2021 down at Lakewood Yacht Club.
That's good. I think that May would be probably the beginning of a rebound.
The return to normal?
Yeah. I think that it's going to take that long. You know, us old people have a bit of an advantage in the fact, well, speaking for myself, have a bit of an advantage in the fact that according to sources that are familiar with vaccinations for the upcoming COVID-19 vaccination campaign, that we got a leg up on the competition age-wise, and that we're going to get our vaccinations right up there along with first responders and the healthcare people.
So,
and
drop your drawers and bend over. You're going to get a shot.
2 of them.
Oh, I have 2 cheeks, so that's okay.
Yeah, I think that, what is it, a couple of weeks apart? Yeah.
Okay. No comment.
You know what?
It's not a political show. I'll keep my comments to myself.
Well, we don't need to go there, but I thought that you were going to go in a different direction completely, but I don't want to go that way either.
No. But, you know, it's good to see that everybody's coming back online with stuff. We're going to talk to Troy Dixon and Stephen Cruz, who is Speed Advocates, a little bit later in the show about what's going on. Have you got them kind of together yet?
No.
Okay.
So I saw a video this week. You know, when you go on YouTube and you look up some cars, car shows or our show, whatever it is, then if you log out, then you log back in, then all of a sudden here are all these other car shows that they suggest to you. So it was some meetup of all of these younger folks that have imports in downtown L.A.,
yeah, it's a good place.
In a garage that had 1 entrance and 1 exit.
Ooh.
And you had to pay to park. Downtown, it was a night event. I don't know when this occurred, but it apparently relatively recently. And all of these imports, there must have been 1,000 of them lined up to get into the.
They all had the.
Yeah, but it didn't
noisy
sound that way.
exhaust systems.
Yeah, they were revving up to 10,000 RPM and wild body work, slammed to the ground. I mean, it was kind of cool. And all I could think of was, if I were that age, I would be all into that. Well, it just so happened that this particular garage that they picked happened to be amongst great big towering condo apartments.
Yeah, that's downtown anywhere.
Yeah. And so they hear all this noise and commotion going on down, and you see them all. They took a picture of all of the people that were standing at their windows looking down to see what was going on. Of course, the cops wound up showing up, and they nix that thing in the bud real quick. So all those people that were now parked in the garage, floor after floor after floor,
are trapped.
It's only one way out. And it's a great big circular drive. They took a picture down. You could see all the people walking up to get to the top floor and all the cars coming down the same ramp to get out. And they're all just sitting there. It must have taken them 2 hours to unload that garage. But it was absolutely, yeah. This one the guy that did the video, he had a car. I am not exaggerating. It had a spoiler on the front of it that looked like a great big, humongous chin sticking out from underneath the front bumper.
It's the Jay Leno spoiler.
That was about that far off the ground and stuck out. I kid you not. It stuck out in front of the car this much. It was the wildest looking thing you've ever seen. To get it into the garage, just where the street dipped down from the street into the garage, they had to remove it. Couple clips, and here's the guy walking up the ramp with this ginormous spoiler to meet up with the car up on the top floor. Must have been 10 stories walking up the ramp to get the thing up there. It was quite the event.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was. And this video went on for an hour, and I kind of fast-forwarded to it, but it was interesting to see some of the cars that are out there in L.A. and how big that entire movement is with all of that.
Well, Richard Tomlin from Apex Motorworks, he checked in. The 24 Hours of Lemons is going on today. It just started at a motorsports resort in Angleton.
Oh, that is today.
Yeah, that is today. And he was showing, and I want to say it was my mind says it's a 924 Porsche, which was the four-cylinder, the early generation of that little Porsche.
Air-cooled.
No, that's a water-cooled. It's actually the 924 had an Audi four-cylinder in the front of it. And then there was a 944, which is a little more Porsche than, and I can't remember. I think it was a 924. It might have been a 944 he was showing, but it was that same looking car, front-engine, rear-drive car.
Yeah, it can't be too much because they got the claim race there as part of the Lemons deal.
Right.
So it can't be worth that much.
What do you mean the claim race?
Well, I think it's like if there's
you could buy any car that's running for whatever the price is of the day.
It's the Lemons race.
Lemons, not Le Mans, Lemons.
Yes.
Yeah, the Lemons race.
So you go to the junkyard and you pay, a couple $100 for some junker, kind of like roadkill, where they go out to the junkyard and buy something. You go, you got to be kidding me. And they get the thing running. Sometimes it takes them days to do it, but they do.
And then you can just pay whatever the claim rate is. But some of the things that they'll do to penalize people is in the penalty, they may weld as the penalty this big flat plate on the roof of your car facing that way to act as an air dam as you're driving down the way if you're too fast. Oh, yeah.
And if they think you're cheating, like you brought a $2,000 car or you shave the heads or something to give it a little more juice, they'll buy it under the claim rules and crush it right there on the spot.
down there in Angleton?
Well, that's kind of the rules of the 24 Hours of Lemons. It's
how fun. So what do they crush it with?
Well, I don't know that they crush it. But
they used to crush it. I've seen the end result of the crushing. I don't know how they did it.
Well, all it takes is a front end loader and.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
You should have entered
All right.
the company van.
Well, we're going to
van.
move on because we're running a little bit behind now.
Yeah.
So we're going to do. I'm sorry.
I said we got them.
Who do we got?
Randy and Norma.
Oh,
Let's see if we got the sound
Well,
right.
I thought you saw me a while ago.
so did we get the audio straightened out with you guys? No. Apparently not. So at any rate, it's good to see you. Hopefully we'll get the audio straightened out and talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, I need to change places with Jeff and Mike, who's going to Jeff is going to do a review of the, Mike, if you don't mind getting up,
Yep,
the 2017 Ferrari F430 Spider. It's an everyman's car. It should be no big deal.
An everyman's
Ferrari.
I don't know if I'd say a 430 is an everyman's Ferrari, but I would imagine, though, as Ferrari goes through their ebbs and flows of valuations, because when you first buy a Ferrari, you probably take a pretty big hit in depreciation, and if you kind of wait long enough, the value begins to climb above the purchase price.
At what point does that happen?
I'm not real sure, but again, some of that's going to depend on the production numbers of the Ferrari, which model number it is, and the 430 is kind of one of those. I think it's on the low side of valuation at this point, with a higher valuation not too far in the future because it's been out long enough. It's kind of like the 308 GT. GTB and GTS.
Oh my God! Well, those are icons of motoring.
Hey guys.
Hey Jeff. Well, tell us about the car.
From now on, we're going to put you a microphone over there.
That's fine.
And we're going to get you a camera over there.
Okay. In the dressing room.
In the dressing room
needs to be worked on.
But everybody puts baby in the corner.
That would be you, sir. I'm at the children's table.
Yeah, that's right. With Thanksgiving coming up.
But there can only be 9 other people there with you.
No, 6. 5 or 6. Anyways, you talked about the 308, and last week
you
I made
teased
mention, exactly, and Don says, "No, you're going to have to do that." Well, I researched the 308, and it was some convoluted information and back and forth on the year, make, model, what it had.
Nothing convoluted about a 308 GTB.
Well, there's not.
But everybody thought it was a Magnum PI car,
exactly,
and it wasn't.
But it was. But the valuation and its
styling and things. So I flipped it. I changed it last minute. I generally put this in on Wednesdays. I changed it on Thursdays for Mike. Blah blah blah. So it is the 2009 Ferrari.
Oh, 2009. Wait, let me change this.
Change that. F430.
2009 F430 Spider.
Yes. And
the Spider, that would be the convertible.
Yes. And there's also an F1, which is a 2-door coupe. So there's 2 different ones.
Well, wait a minute. We only can do one car at a time.
So far as the trim levels. The trim levels, there's 2. There's the F430, and then there's the F1, which is the coupe. And then you got the convertible.
But this is the 430 Spider.
Correct.
So we just stay with that one.
All right. But you want to know the trim levels?
Okay.
F1.
There you go.
There you go.
and wasn't this kind of the introduction of the Manumatic in Ferrari as well?
You're spot on. You're spot on. So far as a class type, it's a sports, exotic. I call it cool. 2-passenger. But if you have 2 expectant women in there, you got a 4-passenger.
That's sexy.
Yeah. There you go. And, of course, there's a Spider. You can do the convertible as
How can you have a Ferrari that's not red? Really?
I did that on purpose.
Oh, my God. A Ferrari is red.
There are 26 exterior colors for a Ferrari.
And they'll do a custom color. You send them the color you want, and they'll charge you an arm and a leg for it, but they'll actually do, and I know Lamborghini will do a custom, all of them will do a custom
Then you won't be able
color.
to drive the stick if you got an arm and a leg. So.
Oh. Since Don doesn't have sound effects,
you go for it.
Oh, dear God.
You go for it. Anyways, exterior features, you got the hardtop to convertible, as you see there. Front air scoop styling. Once we get into that photo, it's coming up. Rear deck spoiler. And, of course, you've got the 285/35/19Z tires.
Oh, good. So we just go from the exterior right onto the interior.
We're doing that. Leather dash, leather steering wheel wrap, leather door panels. There's nothing in here that's not leather, well, except for the carpet and the floor mats.
Well, it looks like there's quite a bit of carbon fiber in there as well.
Exactly. I'm getting into that as well. And, of course, you've got, for some reason, which stood out to me, you've got reading lamps in this vehicle. Well, why would you need a reading lamp in a Ferrari?
I just need reading glasses.
There you go.
Do they have a prescription windshield for Don?
No, but that's a good idea. It's a great idea. We'll work on that one. Speed proportional steering, which I thought of you, Conrad, because, of course, the faster you go, the tighter it gets. I was amazed at that. 8-way power seats for both sides.
Wait a minute. Let me absorb that just a moment. The faster you go, the tighter it gets.
I knew you were going there.
The firmer the steering gets.
Yeah.
But that makes no sense.
Oh,
Ride is firmer.
No, but you also, the faster you go, you want your inputs to have less effect on the ability of the tires to turn. Because when you're doing 20 miles an hour in a parking lot, you want to make a turn and you want to turn 90 degrees. At 100 miles an hour, you don't. If they can lower that effectiveness of the amount of energy it takes to turn the steering wheel, it actually probably makes the car safer because it's going to slow the inputs down.
So you're not zigzagging down the lane.
Well, you can
Right.
zigzag, but you're going to have to definitively want to do that.
Yes.
It's not going to be so sensitive to turn.
like an Indy car.
Well, like an Indy car, but also like, and I'm going to bang on myself, like a Buick or a Cadillac, where you always have what I call overboosted steering. The steering's always super easy and super sensitive.
Right.
So you don't want that in a high performance car.
It's almost like having no power steering to that point.
and that would make sense as
Right.
well.
Yeah, just the proportional. 8-way power seats on both sides, paddle shifters, heated mirrors. The trunk amazes me. 8.8 cubic feet of space in the
You
trunk.
couldn't even put a golf bag.
You couldn't
back
even.
there.
Well, you got your toolkit, the Ferrari toolkit, but
well,
that's just a small portion. Like I said earlier, 26 exterior colors, 12 interior colors, all leather. All leather.
It's a lot of different cows.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can dye leather.
Oh, okay.
And there's a big jealousy factor for me on this, so I'm just pointing that out. It's a V8, 4.3 liter, 483 horsepower. Mm-hmm. That's at 8,500 foot-pounds. It's got dual overhead cam.
What are the Newton meters of that?
343 in the torque.
But at 8,500 RPM, that's buzzing down the highway.
Well, the
to create
torque is
that
at
kind of power.
5,250.
Well, that's not,
Yeah.
that's lower.
That's exactly right. Yeah, lower. It's a 6-speed manual, and of course, it's got the automated 6-speed
Right.
for the F430. The Coupe, which is the F1, is just a 6-speed. Now, we talked about earlier the 308. The 308 had a dog leg shifter. That would mean instead of first gear, it would be reverse. First gear was down where second would be normally, and then third up, fourth up, second up, third down.
Those Italians get that all screwed up.
Well, and generally it was also a metal gated shifter. Where,
Exactly.
Where in
I was gonna get into that, the
Okay, in a
gated shifter.
domestic car, it's just a boot.
Right.
You know, and you got to know where it is. In a Ferrari,
It helps you.
It's got a metal gate in there, so if you
It's so old school.
well, but that's so Ferrari-ish. And now I don't even know if you can get them very many manuals in Ferraris. I think.
Why? Well, it's a
Paddle shifting.
paddle shifted manual.
And I
shift
think the Lamborghini's the same
But
way.
why
I
would
think-
you want to? I mean, that paddle shifted thing, it changes
faster
gear than you can.
Yeah, very much.
I prefer just doing it the old school way. The talent on the steering wheel. I play the drums. I'm ambidextrous, but
there's
that's-
the picture that we should have seen about 5 minutes ago.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous front
Gorgeous,
end.
yeah.
I mean, stunning front end.
So, nevertheless, they did that because the Italians thought going from second to third gear was the optimal way to shift the vehicle. So that's why they did that. The city on the miles per gallon, city is 11. The highway at 16, combined 13. So you're not going to get a whole lot on that. 25-gallon tank, and it's premium. Double wishbone suspension. This vehicle, brand new, $335,000
Holy
plus.
Toledo!
And that's just that one, not even in red.
Oh, can't. That just irritates me.
The F430, the one we're reviewing, is $200,154.
Oh, because it doesn't have a top.
Right, and this only has it's got less than 9,000 miles on it.
Really?
Yeah,
Bargain.
bargain. Now the Coupe, if you wanted to do the F1, you're looking at 187. About 188.
I'd take the coupe
Yeah, I would too.
on a car that's 11 years old.
Yeah.
How many miles? Any idea?
It was like 82.
Yeah,
82
the
and some
speedometer.
change.
82,000.
8,200.
8,200 miles.
Yeah, that's under
Which is
10.
relatively typical on that Highline Italian import stuff, because most people don't want to pay for that $30,000 maintenance service. You know, that may be
What?
oh gosh, that's why so many of them are leased, because they roll out of the lease before those big maintenances come up. You may be talking about a $10,000-$15,000 maintenance.
And some of these, they seal the engine so you don't do your own maintenance. You have to take it back.
Well, I had an interview with the local Ferrari dealer here. This is years ago. And it was a very eye-opening thing to go into the shop. And our video switcher has been a little...
No, we're fine.
Are we fine?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
He's doing a fine job.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeffrey, for the 2009 Ferrari Shocker.
Next week, we're doing an Abrams tank.
We're not doing an Abrams tank, although that would be fun.
It would be awesome.
And I
I'll pull
bet
it
you
right
you
up
could
here.
probably buy one.
Yeah.
I don't know where you'd put it. Could you park it in the driveway?
Who is
Would
it?
it fit in the driveway?
Someone here in Houston
Busby.
has Busby's got one. I was thinking Busby's
he
got
ran
one.
He ran for mayor, but about 3 years ago, he had that tank parked out in front of his house in Tanglewood.
Yep, on his lawn or in his driveway.
Seriously?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And just so many people just raised hell about it, and I think he did it just to go.
Mr. Busby, if you're listening, give me a holler.
Spot on. Bring it over here and park it in my driveway for a while. Well, it's better than what we got across the street now.
Oh.
The dumpsters.
The dumpsters. Yeah. I live in an area where they're redoing a house across the street. What a disaster that is. It's kind of funny to watch. They haven't done anything this week at all. They replaced the dumpster last Saturday, haven't put a thing in it. I think that the city has finally cracked down on their permits, of which they had none.
Oh boy.
There's that.
Oh, really? Wow.
All right. We're moving on now.
Moving on.
So we.
I'm going to cancel your stuff
Yes, sir.
because I've got so much news
Okay, not a problem.
that I thought that it would be.
You're in charge. You know, we're
No, I'm not in charge.
You're
of
in
it.
charge. We're just here to
So, but I thought that we could get
hang on your coattails.
I thought that we could get a laugh out of this. Owners of select model year 2017 through 2019 Chevrolet Bolt vehicles, in bold letters, should park their cars outside and away from homes until their vehicles have been repaired due to a new recall for the risk of
A thermal event, which is what, when I worked for General Motors, we would never call things a fire if a car had something was wrong and it would catch fire. We called them thermal events. What those thermal events could burn your house down.
So 50,932 Chevrolet Bolt vehicles.
Ooh, that's all of them.
Unintended fire in the high voltage battery pack underneath the back seat's bottom cushion. Because that's where the battery is.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
The
common.
affected vehicle's cell packs have the potential to smoke and ignite internally, which could spread to the rest of the vehicle and cause a structure fire if parked inside a garage or near a house. Oh, God.
So, if 2020 wasn't bad enough yet, now when your phone explodes, and this is basically the same technology as, you know, you see these videos of the phone exploding. That's what's happening to the batteries inside of the Bolt.
Let's see. It says here, until the recall vehicles have been repaired, the safest place to park them outside and away from the house. And
don't leave anything extra inside the car either.
There is a certain function that you can put the car in. It's not having in this particular release from NHTSA. No, it's some sort of other mode that they're recommending. Go to safercar.gov, type in the serial number, and you'll get all of the info on your car that's apparently at risk of catching fire. Millennials will lead the car ownership boom over the next 6 months as the world continues to reel from the impacts of the pandemic on personal mobility. There's a growing trend toward personal car ownership as a result of COVID-19, and people ages 24 to 39 will lead the push. According to consulting group EY's 2020 Mobility Consumer Index, millennials will represent 45% of the nearly one-third of people without a vehicle who intend to buy one in the next 6 months.
Well, that makes sense. My son, who's lived in San Francisco now for almost 10 years, he never owned a car, and almost a little bit less than a year ago, he bought one.
Well, 71% are looking to buy a gasoline or diesel model. 23% are looking to buy a hybrid, and just 6% are looking to purchase a full electric vehicle.
Well, part of that's because they're catching fire in the garage.
In the garage. There is that. And the last item that I'm going to give you here is BMW is offering an early warning system that alerts drivers to the use of speed detection devices and traffic speed and red light cameras on their route.
Oh, just what BMWs need.
They need a lot of help because apparently the sales have kind of tanked. BMW's traffic camera information service relies on a nationwide network of public, fixed, and mobile traffic camera locations coupled with data from radar and laser detectors to alert drivers in real time through their infotainment display. BMW includes the traffic camera information system as a 3-month trial on certain 2021 model year vehicles. After that period, owners must decide whether to continue it at a cost of $25 for 15 months.
Right. Let's put you on a subscription to your radar detector, your built-in radar detector.
So, yeah. Anyway. Well, the In Wheel Time Car Show will continue right after this little break. And we invite you to stay tuned for that. Oh, I potted up the wrong thing. Sorry. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. The Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In in Katy returns Saturday morning, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. This fun and fabulous event attracts the best rides in town. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. The Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. Lupi's will have breakfast tacos, coffee, and the best cars, all at one location. The Lupi Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. From Studio A in Texas, USA, it's the award-winning all things automotive car talk show, In Wheel Time. Just ahead, a review of our new car of the week, the 2020 Toyota Tundra. This week in automotive history and the stories making auto news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time car show for Saturday, November 14th, 2020. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us. Let's not forget Jeff Zekin. He's sitting right off camera, and I know that you'll hear him throughout the show, whether we like it or not. So, at any rate, we have a guest joining us right now, and we want to welcome to the show Mr. Stephen Gillum. And Stephen, good morning to you.
Good morning. How's it going?
Very good, thank you, and thanks so much for joining us. Where are you going? Looks like you're riding somewhere.
I just got back from a soccer game and then stopped and helped the car guy on the side of the road real quick.
Oh, good Samaritan?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to talk to you about an event you've got coming up, Kids in Cars. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we're doing our second Kids in Cars today. It is primarily Speed Advocates does all kinds of family-friendly events, and so I decided last year to toss out a Power Wheels meet. So Kids in Cars is show off all the Power Wheels. The kids come out, they play with them, they ride them around. We section off an area of the parking lot, and basically it's a car meet for the kids.
That's a great idea. It's a lot of fun, too, because, everybody wants to get their kids involved in their car world. I do with my kids. They're both very car-centric as well. And couldn't be a greater way to do it than load up the Power Wheels, bring the Power Wheels, let the kids drive around. Everybody gets to take pictures and show off their big cars along with the kids and their little cars as well.
So I understand that this is taking place out at Rudy's Country Store. We're out there on 249?
Yeah, it's out there on 249. It's at 24503 Tomball Parkway, just south of Tomball, Texas, right at 249 in North Point.
Yeah, and to get there from the south side, you're going to go up and you're going to turn around at 99 and come back down to it on the service road.
You can do that, or if you exit North Point, you can actually take a left at the light, and you can go through the McDonald's parking lot, and it'll take you through the back way as well.
Okay.
So, and I understand that the event runs for a couple of hours, 3 hours this afternoon. Is that right?
Yep, we're doing it from 1:30 until 4:30 this afternoon. As soon as I get off of this, I'm going to head up there and start getting everything toned off and ready to go.
So, are you raising money? What's the whole idea behind this?
It's just for fun. I mean, as adults, we have our car events and stuff like that. I primarily focus on the meets and stuff like that. But us adults get to go out and get to shoot with our cars, and people bring their kids out all the time. I figured why not let the kids bring them out, show them off, and just hang out. So it's not for any cause or anything, just for fun. For fun.
So where do the Power Wheels come from? I mean, do you have to have your own, or is this something that you come up with?
No. I mean, I don't have any Power Wheels of my own, but the parents and stuff bring out their toys. A lot of them will bring out a truck with the Power Wheels in the back. The last one we had a slingshot trailer and a Power Wheel slingshot. That was pretty cool. There's a guy who brings out a Grand National and he straps his kid's Lambo to the roof.
Well, my kids had Power Wheels, except I cheated. I took.
Of course you did.
Well, of course. You know, you get a Power Wheel that can pull a wheelie. Now that's a trick because usually they have the plastic tires. That spin.
They don't have.
I took bicycle inner tubes and cut them. So it was about the width of the tire and slid them over, so it slid
kind of like tire change. But
it was like drag slicks. They would get so much grip when my daughter would hit the throttle, she'd have to lean forward or it'd pull over, and she'd end up on her back.
We had a Chevy Bel Air out last time because we do like a little mini drag. We close off a part of the parking lot, and then we do like 60-foot races with the Power Wheels. And there was a little. Like a 57 Bel Air that was popping wheelies out there.
So I gave out the secret. Now everybody knows how to get better traction in their Power Wheels. Yeah. But what a great event though, because everybody wants to bring the kids, but they want to do something special with the kids, and to bring the Power Wheels out and do it. And Rudy's Barbecue. I come out to the meet with. Not regularity, but I come out to the meet from time to time, and it's always a big meet. But you know, on a Saturday afternoon, so at 1:30 is kind of where their lunch rush is over. But they're always looking for a little bit of traffic as well. So you know, you bring a lot of people, and that's a great spot because everybody driving by sees something's going on, and you probably get a lot of stop-in traffic as well to do that.
And it's good food too.
Oh yeah, Rudy's Barbecue is killer food. Their turkey breast. Sign me up. Smoked turkey breast. Don't go there, Don.
Yeah, Don. Yeah, bite your lip. Anyway.
So, and you're also going to be helping out at Houston Raceway Park as well.
The Rise and Race.
The Rise and Race on the 22nd. You guys are helping promote that with William Hodge and Craig Gibbs.
So tell us about that. What is that about?
So Rise and Race, what was it? I think early spring we did like a little track day out there. We kind of got together and been slowly bouncing off the ideas of each other because there is the open market because coffee and cars is no longer going on in the morning, and so we're like, why not do a track day? But at the same time, you know, have a place to host an event such as a Rise and Race. People come out, do the car show in the parking lot, hang out, chat, but at the same time, they can also walk over and spectate the guys that are doing test and tunes. So we have a 40-car cap for the test and tune, and that's going to run all day. And then we'll have the Rise and Race portion of it will be from like 8 to noon. And then anybody that wants to at noon, we're going to close off the track for about 30 to 45 minutes and allow people to get out there and do burnouts if they want to and show off. You know, keep it off the streets, keep it safe. Like, just if people like to show off, hey, we got a spot for you.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well-
if you'd like to burn up a couple $1,000s worth of tires, come on out.
Absolutely. Instead of doing it on, a feeder street or in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing about this event is you say test and tune just for our listeners and watchers to understand what that is. Basically, the track is being rented for the day by those 40 participants that are going to be running the track all day long. You're having the car show next to it, but, those guys may, hopefully get in 15, 20 runs up and down, down the track to get an idea of what their car is capable of doing, whether it's a street car or not. But keeping it on the track's really where you want to be because all this street racing's got to stop. And there's way too much of it going on. I think there was a video or a picture this week of, for some reason, it's always some guy in a Mustang that wrecks. But some guy in a Mustang kind of clipped another pickup truck.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to talk to you, sir, and we thank you for joining us today, Stephen Gillum. And so we
If
invite.
they want some more information about the rise and race, where do they need to go?
You could either go to Speed Advocates on Facebook, Instagram, or speedadvocates.com. And personally, email us if you're interested in the racing portion of it. Or you can show up on November 22nd, 8 o'clock in the morning. Spectator fee is going to be $10 per car. Make it family friendly so that way you're not, if you bring the wife and the kids out, you're not spending $10 a person. So load up the car, bring the whole family out, show off your car. It's $10 to park, hang out, and watch the races. And if anybody's interested, we had a couple spots left in races. You can either personally DM me at speedadvocates@gmail, and I can get you information, or check out the website.
And I've posted both links on our Facebook page.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Stephen, thanks so much. We appreciate you joining us today. Stephen Gillum with Speed Advocates. So there you go. There's the latest on that.
All right. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Sorry for the audio. What's up with the audio today?
Not real sure. I think it's on their side. It's the remote speaker
The humidity
system.
in the air.
No. I think it's just, we're getting more and more people to come in on Zoom who don't necessarily Zoom a lot, and whether it's they're using, it sounded like what Stephen was doing was he was using the sync in his, because he drives a Ford truck, so he was using the remote on his Ford truck, and that's why you were kind of hearing the echo in it, and can't control some of that.
It's all your fault.
It's always my fault.
Particularly if
You've
it's,
talked to Angela.
If it's Ford's, it's your fault.
No,
Absolutely.
it was your fault for sending her to that restaurant. I still pay for that one.
Sending her to what restaurant? The one in San Francisco?
Asia SF.
Yeah, Asia SF. That a great place.
Yes.
How'd that work out for you?
Not very well. I wasn't there, but
What do you mean you weren't there?
I wasn't there. They went. Angie and Rochelle.
They had an absolute hoot of a time.
Austin was sitting in the back corner away from everybody, so he could feel safe.
Yeah, sit with your back to the wall. Yeah.
Asia SF, for you, if you're not,
Up against the wall. He's a redneck.
if you're not familiar with Asia, if you ever go to San Francisco, which I don't know why anybody would anymore, but
It's
back in the day,
No, back still today.
there's a restaurant there that it's a drag place. Men dressed up as women, and I have to tell you that there are some very attractive men dressed up as women. So much so that those of us that are straight are actually
Tempted.
taking.
Well, no, it's just something you've
Don,
Yes.
Don was tempted.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
I'm glad this is your story and not mine.
So you want me to tell this story? I'll tell the story.
No.
I'll keep it clean.
It's 15 after, isn't it? Time for a break.
No, it's not. So here's the story.
Oh, God.
So I was on the drag racing tour. Ironically enough, it was drag racing. And my road partner, Rob Geiger, who wrote at the time for NHRA.com, and we had a mutual friend, and he did marketing and PR for Mach 1, which is an expediter, basically.
And you guys were at Sonoma.
Yes, we were racing in Sonoma, and we had a night off, and this guy Steve and his wife invited Rob and I to join them at Asia SF, Asian Fusion Restaurant, Asia SF, San Francisco. So we go into this nondescript area of San Francisco. All the buildings were painted white, and most of them were abandoned.
And this restaurant's right on the corner.
Right on the corner. And so the vestibule, if you will, where you were greeted, is a very tiny little, two-person kind of thing. And you go in, yes, I have a reservation for 4 people. Go in. There is absolutely no one in this place, okay? And it has a bar, kind of the horseshoe thing, the bar down the middle, and then people with bar stools around the outside of the bar, and then all around the entire restaurant are small cocktail tables with bench seat and then 2 other seats by them. And then there's some long tables. And so we were there for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden this horde of people come in, all different nationalities, sexes, all of that. As a matter of fact, there's a wedding party there. Okay? So a huge wedding party, must have been 30 people. They sat them at a long table, and within 30 minutes, the place was packed with people. So this hot, smoking hot little waitress comes up. Hi, here's our menu. And this is the way it works. We serve it courses. We have 5 courses. And tell me what you would like as far as your soup is concerned, egg drop or whatever. And we'll bring it right out. Okay, great. We'll have that. So she runs off, and out comes the first course, soup. And then, we have the main course, and then we have dessert and appetizer, all this stuff. And everybody's eating, and it's a big, big deal, right? I am clueless.
And then they clear the tables.
No, just hold. You just have to hold your horses there, mister.
Don't read ahead.
And so we're at the end of our meal. It's still relatively early, 7 o'clock or so. And the waitress says, I'm going to be gone for a while. Okay, if you all would just stand by and join us. I'll be back, but I think that you'll really enjoy this, so you just stay right where you are. Okay. And the lights go down, and the announcer comes on and says, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Crystal to the stage.
Don's waitress.
What stage? There's no stage. Oh, no. The back bar, thing down the middle where they normally keep the booze. There's no booze on it. It's a runway is what it is. So back at the back, there's a curtain. Out she comes. Our cute little waitress. Lip-syncing a Barbara Streisand song. I'm going, wait a minute. And Steve and his wife are over there on the floor laughing because Rob and I are going, you've got to be kidding me. So we start looking around at the other waitresses and thinking, something's just not right here.
Or it is just right.
Well, my illusions of getting a date that evening with this hot waitress just went right down the toilet because
Actually, the odds got better.
As it turns out, our cute little waitress was a man. Imagine that. And I turned every shade of red, and then after that, I just kind of enjoyed the evening. And she says afterwards, she said, by the way, we have a private dance club downstairs. If you'd like to go, just let me know. Okay.
$400 later.
No. It wasn't that kind of a place. It was a dance venue downstairs where people would go down there and dance with your straight date. Whether it's male, female, all of that. It was...
so you and Rob went down there and danced?
Together. Yeah, we did.
Y'all have been on the road for a while, huh?
It was quite the experience.
In the future, when you hear Don talk about his year on the drag racing circuit, remember this.
And if you'd like
we will remind him.
And if you would like to make a comment, send your comments to info at inwheeltime.com, and I'll try to answer them in the order they were
discreetly.
received. Discreetly. All right, so there's the story for the morning that has absolutely nothing to do with cars other than it was a time in my life that I was marketing and PR director for a Top Fuel NHRA drag racing team, and my road partner was Rob Geiger.
And he's still involved, isn't he?
Yes.
Not to the level he was.
I think that he wrote for Jegs this past season. He's got a lot of things going on. He does a lot of marketing and PR anyway. All right. Well, there's always a story to tell, you know. Oh, Don. Hi, it's me.
Your egg drop soup will be right out.
Time now for this hour's car review. It is the 2021 Toyota Tundra truck, so I guess it's a truck review. Here are the trim levels. They are the SR, the SR5, the Limited, the Platinum, the 1794 edition, and the TRD Pro. We had a chance to drive the TRD Pro Crewmax. It features a special suspension with larger Fox shocks, BBS forged wheels, and a front skid plate that kind of differentiates it from the rest of the Tundra lineup. It is considered a standard pickup by your government. Seats up to 6, but in this particular case, it seated 5 passengers. It sat 5 passengers. Exterior changes from last model year, none of them. The exterior features, well, it's a truck. It's a great big truck. And what is different about this particular truck, you'll notice that it's got a hood scoop on it. The other Tundra trucks do not. This truck is big. It is a very big half-ton. Double hood scoop air intakes, rugged appearance, go-anywhere stance, and also has some special exhaust tips on it as well, make you feel like you want to go off-roading. What I liked about it, it felt like it could do desert jumps, to be honest with you. What could use improvement, I don't know. How do you improve on that? Interior highlights of this particular vehicle has new instrument gauges and layout. It does have the same center stack as the other Tundras. There it is. Red stitching on the leather seats and dash for this particular TRD Pro. What I liked about it, its user-friendly layout, very simplistic. What could use improvement? More off-road TRD Pro labels on the inside. If I'm taking guests, I want them all to know. See, they've got the stitching on the back seats.
Yeah.
I want to have a label on the dashboard. I want to have a label on the back of the headrest for my backseat passengers.
Well, you do kind of. Is that not a TRD in the center of the center?
Well, it is.
console?
Apparently,
but
you
that's
weren't
all there
listening
is.
because I just said that.
But you want more of that.
I want more of that.
Yeah.
Engine is a 5.7-liter V8, which, by the way, they have dropped the old 4.3-liter. That's not even available anymore. One engine, 5.7 V8, 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque, and I don't know how many newton meters that translates to and don't care. Transmission, 6-speed automatic. Tow rating up to 10,000 pounds. Haul rating up to 1730. 13 miles per gallon city, 17 highway for a combined of 14. Think that's terrible? Well, guess what? All of the truck V8s are pretty much in that same category. Why? I don't know.
And what did you get?
I got 15 over 357.9 miles.
It's a big truck, though.
It is huge. You have no clue. Stand next to it, and you're going to go, oh, my God, I had no clue that it was this big. And then you get inside of it and drive it. This thing is big. Yeah, it's huge. What I liked about it is its capability. Very capable pickup truck. What could use improvement? Well, I would like to see some engine options. I like the V8, don't get me wrong, but I think that they should have a diesel option and they should have a turbocharged V6. I'm just saying.
Or a hybrid that gives an electric boost.
Or that. I think that they need to have some options when it comes to that, because if you're going to compete against, pardon me,
the other three.
The other three, you've got to be able to compete head-to-head. They can't. Ride and handling, well, it is in the TRD Pro trim package, so it does ride
Pretty
and handle.
firm suspension.
Actually, no, because with the Fox shocks, it's got dual reservoirs, so there's a lot of wheel travel. And, you know, like I said, you could jump this thing, and it would do just fine. I like the off-road nature of it. What could use improvement? More off-road stuff. winches, lights, etc. Again, aftermarket, that's available, but I think that Toyota would do themselves a favor if they would have that stuff available to order.
And it probably is as a dealer add-on item. That
I would
the
hope
dealer,
so.
through their accessories program, probably has all of that stuff available.
I would like to think so. Base price, $52,780. Price is tested, $54,414. Base model price is $33,575.
So right there in the ballpark with everybody else.
Except the base model price. $33,575. Ford F-150 you can get for $28,940. The Chevy 1500, $28,600. The Ram 1500 is $32,245. I didn't get to all of the details as to why all that. This is a review about that truck, so if you want to find out more information, Toyota.com.
But you like the truck.
I did like the truck. Yeah, this particular truck I did like. I like the off-road nature of it. I kind of felt like I needed to do some jumps. Seriously.
Like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, exactly. All right, time now for the national race calendar.
Well, the racing season is, to a large degree, coming to an end. There's still a couple of things going on. Actually, about 25 minutes ago, we don't want you to switch to it, but it's going on for the next 12 hours, is the 12 Hours of Sebring, which is generally a March race, but with the pandemic, they switched it. It's going to be the final race for IMSA, the Team Corvette.
In Sebring, Florida.
In Sebring, Florida. The Team Corvette, I believe, has already won the championship. On the points in the GTLM category. I think the DPI, the prototypes, that's still up for grabs as far as who the champion's going to be. The Acura and the Cadillac are in the running for it. So, and our friend Alec Udell is down running in the GT4 category.
In the BMW?
No, the Mercedes
I can't keep up with him.
AMG GT. Yeah, wouldn't it be rough? Let's see, do I drive the BMW last year or the Mercedes this year? And to be 24 years old, sign me up.
And, the all-American good-looking guy on top of all of that.
Well, I already have that.
Just like Jeff Zekin.
Right. So the Turkish Grand Prix in Istanbul is this weekend.
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
There's a song about Istanbul.
And then the Bahrain International Grand Prix.
There's no song about Bahrain.
No. Is on the 27th. The NASCAR series is done. Chase Elliott, son of Bill Elliott, won the championship.
Did you see that video that I posted on our website?
Is that with him doing the donuts?
The
downtown?
donuts,
Isn't that
yeah.
cool?
Well, he had a parade through Dawsonville, and then he did donuts at some intersection. Now, the whole town was out, but that was pretty cool.
Both Jeff Gordon, who was the youngest Winston Cup champion, and Chase Elliott both won the championship race on the exact same day, just 22 years apart. And, another interesting fact, the last time an Elliott won the national championship for NASCAR was 1988. That's the same year that the Lakers won the NBA Finals, which they did this year. It's the same year that the Dodgers won the World Series, which they did this year. The number 9 car won the IndyCar Championship in '88, which it did this year. And then the number 9 car and an Elliott won the NASCAR Championship, which it did again this year. So how ironic that those similarities.
You know what they should have?
88
I told you, and there's no secret anymore that NASCAR is going to put dirt on top of the Bristol half mile, and they're going to have a dirt race.
I think it's great.
Brilliant. You know what they need to have though? They need to have a dirt race for the NASCAR old timers,
like
a senior citizens. Would that not? Speed's not really a factor there, but would that not be an absolute riot to see?
That would draw a huge
crowd on TV.
Oh yeah, and all the retiree guys come on back and race.
All of them. Get Richard Petty out there, Kenny, all the Wallace, everybody. Everybody out there.
If you go back in time, back to the '60s, right now they're running 30-ish, in a normal season, 30-ish NASCAR races. Back in the 60s, they were running 70 and 80 NASCAR races. They would have a race on Sunday. They would have a race on Thursday. Some of these guys would be running, multiple races every week. And there was a lot of quarter mile and half mile dirt tracks. One of the shows I love is what is Dale Jr.'s new show is Forgotten Raceways.
Yes.
What a cool show that is.
It's a very cool show.
We need to get him to come out and do Meyerland.
Meyer Speedway.
Meyer Speedway.
Well, there's a school there now.
And while he's here, he can come in on the show.
That was where I was going with that. But is
Make that happen, will you?
Isn't the X still there from the old figure eight
I don't
track?
think so.
Oh.
They've built a school there.
Is there nothing left that he could walk around?
Turns 2 and 3, I think, may be there. That's all.
It's interesting on his show how they walk around the old track and some of the structures.
He had a
are
track
still
at his
there.
house.
Oh, I didn't
The
know that.
go-kart track at his house.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where he invited all the friends over on a, I don't know, Wednesday night or something. They sat around, drank beer, and the wives got out there and fought with each other and raced go-karts and
Housewives of NASCAR.
Exactly.
What a great idea.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Wouldn't it?
The Housewives
I
of
should
NASCAR.
patent that.
You should.
Yeah.
Or get a copyright or something.
All right. Well, it's time for us to take a quick break. Want to remind you that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. And the In Wheel Time Car Show continues after this quick break. Stay with us.
The Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In in Katy returns Saturday morning, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. This fun and fabulous event attracts the best rides in town. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. The Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. Loopy's will have breakfast tacos, coffee, and the best cars, all at one location. The Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. at Loopy's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m.
And that's next Saturday.
Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild to wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com.
Hello, everybody. This is the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Mr. Jeffrey Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this absolutely beautiful Saturday in Houston, Texas. I think high temperature today is somewhere in the low 80s. Got a little cool front coming through tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be nice all week long. Again, you know, the yard needs a little water. I hate to even say it.
Yeah, I know.
Here, when we
Turn the sprinklers on, Don.
Yeah, I got lots of those. No, I'm good. But at any rate, we have with us on Zoom right now, is joining us, Mr. Troy Dixon from Houston Performance Driving. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, with his oh-so-vogue headset. Hi, Troy Dixon.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
You sounds very professional.
That's right.
Well, we're gonna
got that deep voice.
Well, we're gonna nip that in the bud real quick. Troy Dixon, what the heck have you been up to, sir?
I'm currently booking us 4 first-class tickets to San Francisco.
Going to a restaurant there?
I've got us a VIP table at the Asian SF.
Yes, Asia
facility,
SF.
And I'm looking forward to it. So everybody get your energy where it needs to be. Put your big boy pants on because we're going in.
Either that or just don't wear. Either that or just don't wear any pants, Troy Dixon. That would be my suggestion.
If you are, wear the leather ones.
We have completely
It
lost.
sounds like you've been there once or twice. So
yes,
definitely,
I have.
You'll be my well of knowledge to just don't let me slip. Okay.
I wouldn't think of it. I'll take you by the hand and show you the way, the wicked, wicked way.
It's good to know people are listening to the show, isn't it?
Troy Dixon, oh my God, yes. Well, hey man, it's great to see you. I hope that all is well up there in the Woodlands.
Yes, sir. It's going well. Thank you.
And how are things with Houston Performance Driving, sir?
Things are going well. You know, it's like anything right now with COVID. You know, we're definitely feeling the effects of having large gatherings. It's affected most of all of our meets altogether. We do have some starting to come up on the calendar, but you know, some of the things that we've been doing in the here and now have been sidelined, like our Bombshells meet. You know, a lot of our cruises and things like that, our dyno days have been kind of shelved a little bit, but we've got a lot of those things back on the calendar now. So really, I think here within the next week or two on our calendar on Facebook, you're going to start seeing a lot more events popping up and getting the notifications for those. And then, of course, during the downtime, what we've decided to do is if we weren't hosting our own events, we were going to use our platform to advertise everybody else's events that fit our mold and our base of our group, and just try to get the word out so that way that people that are doing things can probably benefit and get that word out as best we can through our platform.
Well, you know, next week is Tailpipes and Tacos, which would be a great event for you guys to all motor down there between 8 and 11 at the Loopies in Katy. And
yeah, that's a great cruise route because it's right off 99.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
And there's a lot, you know, Troy's in the Woodlands, but HPD is citywide.
Right.
You know, all the way down to Galveston, all the way out in Katy. So even if the Katy contingent showed up, it'd be a huge number of
HPD
folks
meaning
coming in.
Houston Performance Driving, not Houston Police Department.
Well, I think they have. I think they've had some interactions.
Hand, doesn't it, Troy?
They've had some interactions in the past.
Maybe in the old days it did. You know, there was some moments where, you know, we were learning our lessons, but now that we're in our 40s and, you know, we're older and we have families and things like that.
Back when we were young and dumb, we were.
Right. Like I said, but we were lucky, you know, and yeah, it's unfortunate that because HPD was known as a kind of a street racing syndicate, more or less, you know, forum. And that's why we kind of got popular and how we got a lot of eyes on us. But once you get that attention, it can be good and bad. So a lot of the older guys that were the first OGs, the OGs had said, you know, we're kind of getting away. We're kind of going into this dark zone. Let's stay on the straight and narrow, and we can still have fun and do things. We're going to have to use our imaginations, of course, and you know, and regulate things. But at the end of the day, the events are going to be safer and better. And so we started getting into like drag days and track days over at Old Lone Star and HMP and you know, Royal Purple. Well, it's not Royal Purple anymore. I think it's Houston Race Park now.
Houston Race Park.
Yeah, and so we were doing, you know, our midnight 1320, which was a street racing setup, bracket racing. You know, we had pots going for $5,000. You know, it was so fun back then. Had the human starters. You know, it was just good, clean, fun. And what it did was it gave an excitement that the street racers didn't really know about because they thought the excitement was on the street. But when you take the excitement to the track and you put them against other people that have cars, have talent, have driving talent, you're stepping into a whole new world of fun because now you're really finding a narrow corridor of skill sets and everything's coming together in the challenge. And to me, that's what I think street racers were looking for at the time was a challenge and excitement. But if you can harness that energy into a different way
on the
and
track,
give them something that's better on the track, I think that's where we gained a second notoriety of popularity. And that's why Houston Performance Driving is one of the largest, you know, online communities.
Yeah. Do you ever do any cruises, you know, like going from for instance, the Woodlands to Katy for a cruise in.
Oh, yeah.
And once you get there, you either leave as a group or you leave individually, whatever the case may be.
Sure. We've got several cruises we do, and we've been doing the same cruises for years. I mean, I think we've been doing our South Coast Fun Run to Galveston for probably 10, 15 years almost.
Oh, every bit of that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, those were like right around the 2000, right, when that had happened. And so, but those cruises have gotten a little harder because, again, the social media, it adds to a certain responsibility that, like, we had cruises back then where 100 cars, then it was 300 cars. And we've had cruises that were 750 cars where I'm thinking this is just madness. Now, granted, everybody behaved themselves and we didn't have a lot of issues or anything like that, but just that sheer number of cars on the road going, 288 south to Surfside Beach and then coming off the coastal highway.
You hit that toll road down there, that toll bridge, and you got that many cars to try and pass through.
It would attract attention, and not that everybody was misbehaving, but that attention was never good. And usually, I think the guy in the black Corvette that was running up front was the first one everybody got, because you ended up talking to a few DPS officers and Lake Jackson Police Department a few times because you were the leader. I had to dove on the grenade.
I had to put on my, political persona, and get in there and, kiss babies and steal lollipops.
Political persona?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, and, it was good. I mean, I hope everybody appreciated the heat I took for them. And because, there were several times I was pulled over and, cops were just trying to figure out what was going on. And they're just trying to do their job, bless them. They don't know. They're getting calls. They see all these cars coming into their town on a Sunday morning. They don't know. So they're going to react. And we just try to, roll with it as best we can, try to enjoy our day as well.
Sure.
But then we also have our other cruises that go through the North Sam Houston Forest, which are really, really great.
A lot of fun.
Those just go through those, those wooded areas, and it's like straight out of, a video game or a simulator. It's very quiet.
Hey, Troy, how do we find out when you have those cruises scheduled? And
everything we do is turn to Facebook. We used to have our own HoustonPerformanceDriving.com and forum, but unfortunately, with the way technology has moved the tempo that it's on, it destroyed our forum where it didn't make sense to have it. So everything's on Facebook or YouTube. So we have a YouTube, Houston Performance Driving. You can even search HPD, and I guarantee you on YouTube, we come up before Houston Police Department.
I hope so.
Sometimes in shared videos.
Sure. There may be a joint.
Yeah, body cam, little body cam or something.
Right, and it is funny because when we do our meets, because I'm. I always say HPD, and it's Houston Performance Driving because I'm just so used to it for doing it this long. Because we've been doing HPD since 2002. It was such a small group at the time, and it's just escalated. And the reason why it became what it was is because it had a great core group of people.
Yeah, very much so.
Great values, everybody on the same page. But what made it grow was there was a competitiveness in that group. Yes, we're all friends. We all can go out and hang out and have dinner. But at the same time, when it came to our cars, there was a massive competitive tempo. And so everybody, because I remember the days when 500 horsepower was the elite.
That was a big deal.
Then it was 6 and 7, and now you're past 1,000. And that's how, more or less how we met Conrad, was out running around one night, and, he was out field testing for Cadillac. But anyway, that's a story for a different time.
I was going to say,
I don't work for him anymore.
Yeah, he's turning red over here, even though he don't work for him anymore.
There's a story there, which I don't know we'll have time for. If Don says, Troy, tell the story, obviously. But, but we had been out one night, and we had met Conrad. And so during those times, it was so competitive. And then the group just got bigger. Then so forums go down, Facebook comes up, Instagram comes up, YouTube develops, and then now you've got this plethora of this is what we're doing. Because I remember on the days of Street Fire, where you would just upload your video because YouTube hadn't developed, and Street Fire was the street racing website, and that's where you would go for street racing videos. And yours truly was on there several times in BMWs and Corvettes and whatnot. But now we've gotten past all that.
And actually, with the current level of social media, it's really expanded HPD's reach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, we've grown in leaps and bounds. I think we have about 30,000 followers in Houston on our fan page, and I think we have about 10,000 active members on our group. And we do regulate those people. You do kind of have to jump through some hoops, answer some questions, and we try to keep everything Houston or Texas or maybe even somewhat parts of Louisiana based, but it's a great thing. And we're just looking forward to our big Twin Peaks meet coming up soon, and we're working on a South Side meet now. We've been doing a North Side meet in the Woodlands for 6 years. This is going to be our 7th year doing this meet at Twin Peaks in the Woodlands. So now I'm getting up because of that. Being so far, we want people on the south side because of our reach. So now we're going to be looking at doing a Webster meet. So every second week there will be a Twin Peaks meet hosted by Houston.
So I need to ask you before we let you go here about the HPD annual toy drive, Christmas toy drive. When is that going to take place?
That is going to be December 12th. That's going to be a Saturday, starting at 11 a.m., going to 2 p.m. at the Twin Peaks in the Woodlands or Shenandoah.
Yep.
And we've been doing that particular toy drive since 2007.
And we know about that Shenandoah Police Department.
Yes. Well, in a way, that's a good thing now, maybe not 10 years ago, but now it's good because they're there and you're appreciative that they're there. Because it does keep because of their reputation. It does keep everybody well behaved and well mannered. And not that our group isn't well mannered, but because our group is so big, you can't control everyone.
And just every once in a while, Troy, the left foot will slip right off that clutch, and it just goes up in smoke, and you can't help it.
Right. That's why I go out in third gear, Don.
Okay. Well, I always learn something from you, Troy Dixon, and I really appreciate that.
But the toy drive is just come to Twin Peaks, bring a wrapped new gift to give away.
Wrapped or unopened?
Unopened.
New unwrapped, because we need to be able to identify the toys.
Right.
We need to be able to identify the toys.
Yeah.
So we're looking for toys for boys and girls ages 2 to 12. Naturally, over the past, MD Anderson has been our main benefactor. And so when it comes to that, we look no stuffed animals and no toys that promote violence. So no guns, no swords, no guns. Oh, I said guns twice. But no, military toys are good, like tanks and helicopters, but nothing like swords, axes,
laser,
stuff like that.
or lightsabers.
Right. Yeah. And trust me, I'm the hugest Star Wars fan ever. But also, too, multicultural toys because, it's two genders and everybody's affected by cancer or hard times. So our second benefactors are Harris County and Montgomery County Women's Centers. And as I know, we've been some of their largest donations for the last couple of years for both of those facilities.
Twin Peaks, December 12th. Troy, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I'll see you in a little while. We're going to San Francisco, first class.
Hey.
Yes, we are. I'll be wearing my shorts. Bye. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com, and we don't care. Just lay it on us. You like it? Great. If you don't like it, tell us. Okay. Not that we'll change anything, but you get it off your chest, so to speak. All right, time now for This Week in Auto History, and Conrad always has something good for us on auto history time.
Well, in 1926 was the official date that Route 66 was identified as a cross-country highway. Now, I say cross-country. It actually went from Chicago, and from Chicago down south through like St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, and all the way out I-10. Here's a map of it. But that was the cross-country route many people took. It has since been retired, but again, I always thought it was a great road, and it's an icon sign that has gone away, but they still sell all of the memorabilia for Route 66. In 1927, the Holland Tunnel between New York City and Jersey City was completed. My grandfather was a surveyor on the Lincoln Tunnel, which was done a little bit later. And he said when he came in from the Jersey side and from the New York side, and when they met in the middle, they were within a dime's width of being exactly right on together as they built these car tunnels going underneath the Hudson River between New York and New Jersey.
You ain't getting anything close to a car through that thing.
No, but that's the start of it. They had tunnels. This tunnel, it's twin tunnels plus an air chamber that they moved air through as well, and they moved 3 million cubic feet of air per minute through those tunnels.
And it's still in operation.
Yeah, they're still in operation. And then in 1946, the Exchange National Bank of Chicago. Here's the automotive tunnel as they're building it, and that would be multi-lanes. And then there's the Lincoln Tunnel is on the bottom, the Holland Tunnel is on the right, and Jersey's all the way over there on the left, but you can't see it. Who cares about Jersey? I'm from New York.
Nobody cares about
in 1927, excuse me,
You're from Jersey? Yeah. I'm from Jersey, too.
In 1946 was the first drive-through bank, and that was the Exchange National Bank of Chicago, and that's since
What year was that?
1946.
46. I remember my mother going to the first drive-through at the Waukesha National Bank. I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh, yeah, very much so. And now, though internet and apps and stuff have kind of slowed it down, still drive-through was the way to do a majority of your banking. And then in 1956, Ford Motor Company decided on the name for their new model, which was the Edsel.
Well, is that him?
That is
He's hot.
that is Edsel Ford. Edsel Bryant Ford, I believe, is his
I
full
think
name.
I saw him at Asia SF in San Francisco.
Okay. And the name of the car line, he actually passed away in 1943. And his son, Henry Ford II, wanted to memorialize him with that.
Oh.
That car truly, my opinion, other than the toilet seat front end, was way ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah. If you look at the
Horse
stuff that's
collar,
on it.
toilet seat, yeah, very, very much ahead of its time.
You cannot convince me that any part of that car is attractive. You can't convince me.
No. I'm not going to say it was attractive, but I'm going to say the
technology, yeah.
In its day was probably 10 years ahead of its time.
But its ugliness,
That's what killed it.
You killed it. I mean,
Yeah.
Very much so.
They could have a jet engine in it, but
And then in 1960, this week, Robert McNamara, who is the head of the Ford Motor Company, was named head of the Ford Motor Company for a very short period of time, because about a month after he was named the head of the Ford Motor Company, he went to Washington to become JFK's cabinet member for the Secretary of Defense.
McNamara, yeah, okay.
So, and he functioned as the Secretary of Defense under Kennedy and Johnson, and finally retired in '68. In 1965, the Summers brothers set their land speed record at 409 miles an hour in the Goldenrod. That car was one of the narrowest cars to set a world speed record, and it was a 4 Hemi engines, blown Hemi engines underneath that body, and brought the car wheel-driven to 409 miles an hour. And that record stood for a long time. I think it was just recently beat. But so that was, again, in 1965. In 1978, a stuntman in Georgia driving for the Dukes of Hazzard set their jumped to General Lee. This is a picture of and this was in the opening of the Dukes of Hazzard, and that jump was in every show, and it was the only jump that was in every show. The problem with it was they tore up a lot of cars. I think over the length of the series, which was on from 79 through 85, they tore up 300 Dodge Chargers. It's Mike's car review. So if you kind of flip to the next picture, this is what it looked like after the jump. Go ahead and advance to the next one. That's what that car looked like after the jump.
Well,
so
there's no
wasn't surprising. A lot of times they would show the jump just before the car hit the ground, because this was the result, and that's why they tore up so many cars. And then in 1989, Ford bought Jaguar, which I thought was a mistake. And this was the Jaguar that they had released. This didn't come out until 2000. What, 2000?
Looks like a Ford Mondeo.
Well, it was, and it was also the Lincoln LS.
Ugh.
They shared the platform, and then at the time when Ford bought them, they were still
Jaguar.
making. Yes, they did. They ruined them on a number of issues because in '89 when they bought them, they were still making the XJS. But then this was the next thing out. Now Ford has since vacated Jaguar. In '89. That's what Jaguar was building. In 2000 or '93, they were building the other one. So that's this week in automotive history.
Quite a week.
Quite a week.
Yeah.
In 2020, we're still in 2020, but the end is near.
Oh Lord. Let's hope.
That's a scary thing. The end is near.
In many ways. Okay. I've got a lot of automotive news. And I wanted a little extra time to be able to do all of the automotive news.
That's why I tried to end a little early for you there, Don.
Thank you. So, you looking for a job? Talented? General Motors plans to hire 3,000 employees by the first quarter of next year to accelerate electric vehicle production, hopefully the non-Inferno type, and enhance vehicle software. The additional jobs, many of which are related to GM's proprietary Ultium batteries and EV development, will help GM stick to the new EV standards set by the electric GMC Hummer pickup, which, and I didn't know this, was developed in only 18 months.
I didn't realize it was that quick.
18 months? That's huge. Yeah.
But GM's work on the electric platforms has been pretty advanced over the last 10 years, but delivering the Hummer EV that quick is pretty amazing.
The roles will be in engineering, design, and IT, and many of the positions can be had remotely, so you can do it from the comfort of your living room. The GM is more confident in workers' ability to make progress remotely after many employees have worked off-site throughout the coronavirus pandemic. Location won't be a deterrent for the new hires. There you go.
From somebody who doesn't work for GM anymore, good for them. Well, former Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn.
Oh no, you can't do that.
I'm going to get ahead of you.
You don't.
Okay. There's a couple of pieces to that story, but I'll let you go.
Former Reynolds and Reynolds Company and Houstonian CEO Bob Brockman will remain free on a $1 million unsecured bond while he fights federal charges for tax evasion and wire fraud, according to a judge this past Wednesday. Brockman, 79, was indicted last month on 39 counts that include tax evasion, wire fraud, money laundering, and evidence tampering. Prosecutors say Mr. Brockman created an elaborate offshore scheme over 2 decades to avoid taxes on $2 billion in income.
So if I steal $2 billion, I only have to pay $1 million bond. Sign me up.
Reynolds and Reynolds, the largest privately held provider of dealership management system software and services, is headquartered in Dayton, Ohio, but he lives down in River Oaks.
Well, they have a big complex up off of 290 that is their tech center here in Texas, kind of their call center.
GM is recalling 194,105.1 vehicles in the U.S. because bolts on that horrible start-stop accumulator could be loose or missing, resulting in a transmission oil leak, increasing the risk of a thermal event. The recall vehicles are 2018 to 2020 Buicks, Cadillacs, Chevrolets, and GMCs. Do they have anything else?
No, I think that's everybody.
That's all. Dealer notification started October 29th. Vehicle owners will be notified starting December 14th. If you're one of them,
don't park your car in the garage.
New York study touts marketing power of live auto shows. And I think that it's not a secret any longer that the Houston Automobile Dealers Association and the Houston Auto Show is not going to happen in January. The study said 229 brand additions are made to shoppers' lists as a result of consumers seeing those brands, 229,000, as a result of consumers seeing those brands at the New York Auto Show. Now, you can just take that and bring it to the Houston Auto Show or the LA Auto Show, whatever.
Do the math, yeah.
Do the math. More than half of new vehicle buyer households that attended the New York show said their auto show experience influenced their decision. More than half, according to a study by Foresight Research. The 10-year study of the show analyzed the attendance, demographics, media influence value, and purchase influence of the longtime event. Study also touted the value of auto shows in general. They are ranked first as the most influential marketing channel or media channel, just ahead of digital, according to U.S. Auto Show Immersion reports. About 83% of attendees said shopping was their motivation to attend. The average dwell time, or the people that stayed at the show, was 4.75 hours.
And think about how incredible the Houston Auto Show was to feed that theory with the test drives available outside, with the test drives available inside as well. So they were definitely feeding that theory of how influential the car show is on the buyer.
Time for us to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
The Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In in Katy returns Saturday morning, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. This fun and fabulous event attracts the best rides in town. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. The Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. Loopy's will have breakfast tacos, coffee, and the best cars, all at one location. The Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. at Loopy's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com.
From Studio A in Texas, USA, it's the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Show. Today, our car of the week, Ram 2500. We'll give you an in-depth review. We got a couple of special guests we think you're going to really enjoy. We'll also get this week's automotive news, Conrad's Car Clinic, and more, all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, November 14th, 2020. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin sitting right off camera. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. And joining us right now on our special little Zoom feed is Carol Estes. He's with Roadside America Museum in Hillsboro, Texas. Carol, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, morning, Mike. I may have to get in and out of this wind before I can hear very well here, but I just wanted to start off by just showing the front of the building and welcoming people to Hillsboro, Texas, Roadside America Museum.
Well, Carol, where is Hillsboro, Texas?
Hillsboro's on I-35, about midway between Dallas and Waco, a little closer to Waco, 35 miles north of Waco or so.
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell if it weren't for your accent.
Why don't you head towards the inside and kind of get out of that wind a little bit?
Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna switch to the front camera too, since nobody wants to look at me.
No, we all want to look at you, but you go ahead and you can change it over and take us on
see
inside.
If I can switch that over.
Okay, look at you.
Close.
Yeah.
Switch this over to the other side here.
Okay.
If you can't do that, just turn the camera around.
Yeah. So, Carol, as I mentioned, Roadside America Museum in Hillsboro, Texas, up there off of 35. And
there we go.
There you are.
There we go. So
right.
are we in the? Is that the front of the museum there, Carol?
It's a side door.
Side door.
When you approach the entrance, you want to come for a tour. Open pretty much 7 days a week. When you come, though, the door will most likely be locked. So there's a note on the door right here that gives a phone number and just tells you to call the number. I live in the building, and I open up pretty much any time anybody will come.
Okay. Well, I see it's 972-291-2958. So now that you've given the world that phone number, you might start getting phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning for tours.
Well, I don't know about 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm willing to open up pretty much any reasonable time, 9 to 5 or
well,
so.
you know, I like the greeting once you get inside the. I think we have a little gnome there, and we got
Vivian.
Kip's Big Boy or whatever Big Boy hamburger icon over there, and an SO. Is that an SO man over there on the left-hand side?
SO oiled out man. Yeah, when you enter the building, you are greeted by more than 60 figures, advertising and iconic fixtures of those, such as got the Big Boys, the Mountain Dew Hillbilly Boy here. You got
the Michelin Man.
Man, that's Sheila. All she does is stand there and look pretty. That's her job.
Wait a minute. That's Don Armstrong there, I think. You just came in from San Francisco, Asia SF. Anyway, so Carol, I have you put this collection together yourself? Is this your collection?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said, is this your collection that you've put together?
Yes, it's just my personal collection that I've just gathered over many decades.
I was going to say, because you've got some stuff there that I have not seen since the 1950s.
Well, this is a showcase built from the back of a '59 Cadillac, built in the early '90s.
See the taillights and stuff.
So did you build that yourself?
Yes, I built 4 of those in the early '90s. Yes.
Very nice.
We got the Looney Tunes characters that just joined the family last year. We got some jukeboxes, pedal cars. Just to give them a little quick overview of the entire thing here.
So where do you find these pieces for your collection?
You know, just wherever they are. Sometimes they find me. Somebody will call and be wanting to sell some characters, sell something, or occasionally things are donated. Not as much as I'd like, obviously, but that happens sometimes. Got the Big Boy here, Bob's Big Boy, school crossing guard cop here.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of McDonald's pieces.
Trying to zoom in, it's not working.
No, don't worry about Zoom. We're good.
Big weenie guy there, and around this
that's Jeff.
This is Officer Big Mac just joined the family last week.
Weenie guy, Jeff.
He's the newest one in here. So.
Yeah. So go back to the weenie guy. I want to look at him. Again, just for the heck of it.
He's an American hot dogs chain. He's a big weenie guy with an American flag wrapped around the back of him. You can get around here and see that.
Well, I see that he is bald. He is bald, so that would fit with Jeff. That's perfect.
It doesn't get much more Americana than that.
No, it certainly doesn't. So
the Grapette soda collection kind of dominates the soda collection.
Why is that? You got a thing for Grapette?
Well, it was my favorite drink as a kid, and I started collecting it in the early mid-'90s, mid-'70s.
I know somebody that's got a refrigerator just like that. His name is Craig Bierman. He also is a collector. I need to get you two together.
This is a Frisch's Big Boy, which is supposedly only one of 3 known to exist in this big running style here.
Oh, wow.
Well, now, where do you find things like that? I mean, clearly, your collection.
Wherever they are. Back before the age of internet, I guess you'd call me a picker, whatever. I'd travel all over the country, going to auctions and sales and things like that, just individuals. And I get asked that question a lot, but there's really no quick answer to where I got it. It's just kind of everywhere,
Yeah.
Got Grapette chests.
I bet you he has crossed paths somewhere with John Hovis. John was out collecting his.
He's heard of John.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he hasn't been down to the Hemi hideout yet.
The people at Asia SF have heard of John.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, okay.
This is a soda fountain area set up. Anything that has those soda fountain equipment.
Oh, wow.
So do you live in this particular building as well?
Yes, I do have living area in the building. That's why I'm here pretty much all the time.
Now, didn't you say this was an old Ford dealership in downtown?
Yes, Ford dealership building.
Well,
and
so you live
even if I happen to not be here, I do go to car shows sometimes on Saturday. But if I'm not here, I have a friend who lives right down the street, Vicky, and she gives a good tour. In fact, she's doing tours right now as we speak. There's several people in here doing tours. We're trying to stay out of each other's way here.
Well, I mean, don't worry about that. I mean, we're enjoying the tour. I mean, it's truly a fascinating place. What a collection you've gathered there. So, when did you start collecting, and when did you open Roadside America Museum?
Okay, I started collecting. I've been collecting all my life, pretty much all my adult life. I can't remember when I didn't.
You're a hoarder.
Collect things.
Picker.
No, he's a hoarder. Let's use a hoarder. He's got it in a nice, orderly fashion.
He's hoarded a C3 Corvette, so that's good news.
I started the advertising memory bill. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. We're listening.
Advertising memorabilia I started collecting about the mid-'70s. Now, I do have a dining area, and this was the parts department in the old Ford store. And I made a little dining room in here, and then it's available for parties, birthdays, anniversaries, class reunions, that sort of thing.
How fun. What a great idea. Can we come up there and stay at your place?
It's out pretty well.
Yeah, can we come up there and stay in your place?
I'm gonna walk on out.
You didn't hear that, apparently.
So, do you get car clubs and stuff kind of come through as well? Because this is the kind of stuff some of the car clubs would love to see.
This makes a good cruise destination for car clubs. I've had quite a few car clubs go on a little afternoon drive and show up and make their destination down here, and then they have a little dinner or just come for it. This is old general store set up, built in here out of 100% old materials, and we won't go inside. I'll give a quick overview, but just for the constraints of time, we just kind of give a quick look through inside the general store, just thousands of store stock items.
Did you grow up in Hillsboro?
Well, don't accuse me of growing up. I hadn't done that yet.
So you remember when this actually was a functioning Ford dealership?
Yes, it was a Ford dealership up until about late 04 or early 05. I bought the building in 2005.
Oh, okay. So hadn't been that long ago.
And did about a little over 15 years. And this is a 32 Ford Penitentiary Bus, old patina ride here.
Penitentiary Bus. I need to be in that.
I'm trying to keep the shaking down, but it's a Goose Creek Penitentiary Bus.
Goose Creek, isn't that a school district around here?
Yeah. Baytown.
It's got a 6.0 LS drivetrain in it. All the power and air and cruise control and all the comforts of home.
You and Bierman have a lot in common, because Bierman has an older, I think his is an older Chevy bus that's got a
47,
I think
49,
it's got a
something.
blown blower motor in it.
This is just my shop area back here, so it's not the neatest thing. We've got the Pep Boys back there.
Oh, Manny, Mo, and Jack.
Trying to find a better place to put them.
Put them on the roof.
Well, there's a Fisk Tire Boy, which deserves a restoration. I hope to get around to restoring him someday. Bumper car.
So where's the car hauler we were looking at the other day?
I'm headed to it right now.
Okay.
We're going over into the car area over on the west side here.
I see a GMC motorhome sitting over there.
Yeah, that's my old GM. That's my motorhome. This is a 29 Pontiac Street Rod Coupe. And I built this car in 1977, so that's a 43-year-old build. It's still looking pretty good. She's starting to show a little age, but so am I, so I don't hold that against her. Well,
in Pontiac, what an unusual car to build into a street rod, with so many people doing the Chevys and the Fords.
You don't see many of those.
Yeah.
This is 68 C10.
Nice.
I bought this truck as is about 3 years ago.
That's nice, yeah.
It just really doesn't pay to build them anymore. You can buy a finished vehicle a lot cheaper than you can build one. It's got the Vortec LS in it.
Everything's got an LS in them today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the way to go. This is a 55
Woody would like this one.
Star Chief wagon with over 25 body alterations on it. I converted an old utility wagon into this Star Chief wagon.
It's like Michael Wooding's.
Yeah, we have a friend of ours has one of these that he drives to his car show, to the car shows as well. Same color combination.
I try to drive these, rotate around, take one week, and another one the next week. That's 66 Bonneville.
Is that an 8-lug?
Yes, got the 8-lug wheels, the 421.
How cool is that?
We want to be you.
What a collectible car that is.
I bought this car in Daytona Beach about 7 years ago. Like I said, there's 3 in here built. The rest of them, I'd prefer just to buy them done now.
So, Carol, are you working, or what did you do for a living when you were?
I had an auto body shop. I restored classic cars and built street rods for a living for years. I retired from that quite a while back.
What is that?
That's a 66 Biscayne Maryland State Patrol car.
It's got a big block, but which one?
That's been all completely restored.
Is it?
I don't want to show too much because I want people to come down here and see it in person.
Well, we want to see it in person. Is that a 396? No, it's a 427.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
That is absolutely stunningly beautiful.
It'll pass everything but a gas station.
Yeah, no doubt.
This is fake facade stuff over here on this side.
That's the entry to your house upstairs, isn't it?
No. Actually, there's a car hauler. Okay, we'll back off here a little bit and get the car hauler in here.
Oh, my. That is just cool.
That's a 35 Dodge in body only. It's all Chevy frame and drivetrain and all in it for 1-ton Chevy chassis.
Now, was it originally a car hauler like that, or did you make that?
No. When I got it, it was just a cab and a frame. It was probably a flatbed originally.
Yeah. Well, boy, is that cool. But it was a truck.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, we're going to make sure we post a link on our Facebook page to your facility and invite any of our car clubs that are looking to go out for a day drive. Come on out and visit you guys. I know quite a few of them are always looking for a reason to go for a drive somewhere.
That's true. That's true, especially now with not most car shows being canceled.
Right.
Just car cruises are real popular right now.
And Hillsboro's not that far away, and it can be a fun drive from Houston because you're going to go through some of the twisties to get there.
Exactly. And this little truck.
Is it really for sale?
Yes, I actually bought this to resell. Full dress 53 flathead in there. And if I can get this, the interior on this truck really can't be described. I want to try to get
check this out
of this.
Oh, my. That is just too. Did Elvis have something to do with this?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
All that pinstriping and
metal
work.
My gosh. Look at the detail of all of that.
Now that's fiberglass panels, right?
It's fiberglass inlaid panels, handmade fiberglass panels in here. It's quite a little truck.
How cool is that?
But anybody's interested, they can give me a call. We'll talk.
Carol, are you married?
Oh, no.
You're not married?
I haven't been married in a long time.
I was going to say, because I don't know how you would justify all this expense to the.
Don hasn't been married in a long time.
So this is the ultimate bachelor pad that you got going here.
We just kind of walked full circle here back into the dining room.
This is a man. This is a man.
This is a man cave. God, I love this place.
We got some folks doing a tour right now, so I got my friend down here taking care of that for me.
Well,
one more thing. Here's a little Texas for you.
He's got
Stevie Ray Vaughan signed Stratocaster.
Oh my gosh!
Are you kidding me?
How cool is that?
We got to come up there. We got to. Well, first of all, I got to shake your hand and have some Carol Estes worship time because we all want to be you.
Well. Actually, you got me and 63 other characters live here.
63 other characters. I got it. Well, this is just too much.
I got to call them the family because they all live here together and for the most part get along pretty well.
Do you talk to them?
Oh, sure.
Of course.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Do they talk back?
That's the real question.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be halfway nuts to have all this stuff.
I guess it depends on how much Jack Daniels.
But
how cool is that? What a great collection. Well, we definitely want to thank you for sharing it. How wonderful is that?
Yeah.
Betty Boop.
So, Carol, is this dealership, the American Roadside America Museum, is it in downtown Hillsboro?
Yes, sir. It's just about a block and a half east of the courthouse square.
Very nice.
You get off the highway. That's the highway's not Hillsboro. You need to come into downtown Hillsboro.
Yeah.
There's Savannah, my ticket girl, and her little sister. I talked to Marky when I come in.
Okay.
And but yes, it's just it's in downtown Hillsboro, about a block and a half east of the courthouse square.
So, Carol, do you have a presence on Facebook with the Roadside America Museum?
Yes, I do. It's under Roadside America Museum, I believe it's called. And I got a website also. It is roadsideamericatx.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna.
Not a lot on my. I'm not real good at keeping up my website. I'm not a techie person. But,
well, that's okay. At least you've got presence on both, and now you're going to get this swell of interest from all of our viewers, especially those that are up there in the North Texas area, because I want to drive up there and see your place. So expect on seeing me sometime in the near future.
Well, that sounds good.
Well, we sure.
That sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Just like to invite anybody that wants to come. Just come by, or if you're coming from out of town, it might not be a bad idea to call and make sure that someone will be available. But 99% of the time, there is someone available.
Well, I'm interested
in that number.
I'm interested in the gathering place down there. So what do you do if somebody wants to have a little meeting? You just cater the food in, or how does that work?
Yes, usually they can either bring their own potluck or just we have several places in town that will cater.
Nice. So you got the connection. Well, Carol, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us and giving us the tour. We want to come see you in person, and so we'll be in touch with you in the near future. If you get anything new, be sure and call us. Let us know so we can talk about it, put you on the show with us.
Okay, buddy. Well, I enjoyed it, and like I said, I wanted to just invite anybody to come by anytime they'd like. Usually somebody's here. If not, just call that number. We showed it first, 972-291-2958.
Yeah, we've got you both your Facebook page and your website up on our Facebook page.
All right, very good. Carol Estes, thanks so much. Again, Roadside America Museum, and you can go to our Facebook page and our website as well and get a link to all of that. Okay, that's Carol Estes. What a collection. What a great
stop that's got to be. They got an Elvis, too. Yeah, that's a great place to go visit.
What we need to do is we need to take the In Wheel Time bus and go up there.
Is that Bierman's bus?
Yeah, we could borrow Bierman's bus.
I don't think his bus does long drives.
We just go a quarter mile at a time.
We could do that. All right. Thanks for joining us on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the Ram Heavy Duty 2500.
Yes, sir. I have to tell you, this was I was really surprised by this vehicle. It's the 2500. We drive the Power Wagon and we get all the off-road stuff. This is the other end of the spectrum. This is the Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 2500. So this is more of a luxury vehicle, and I can see why these guys drive this kind of vehicle when they're pulling their horse trailers and things like that, because this is a nice pickup. Now, we happen to have the Night Edition, which is a new trim level that came out this year. And, of course, it's got all kinds of things. It's kind of a monochromic look to it. It's got the painted front and rear bumpers. Got the grill surround is also painted to match.
This one does not have that.
No, this is on the Midnight Edition that we had. They didn't have any pictures up there, and I should have took the pictures of it when I had it. So, but it gets into all kinds of things on the outside. We had the remote tailgate release. We had the trifold tonneau cover to put stuff up under it. We were rolling on some 20 by 8 inch black aluminum wheels that kind of goes with all of that. Had the LED bed lighting packages, a deployable bed stop. So this has a lot of features in it that you might find on more of a luxurious truck that you wouldn't think about when you're looking at a heavy duty. But this has got it, and I can see why people do this. Now, what I don't like, I will tell you this on the outside of it, it's got those clearance lights up on the top of the cab.
Yeah, well,
all heavy duties have that, but it's actually an option on this vehicle.
Why don't you like that?
It makes it look like a commercial truck to me.
And there's a problem with that. It's a 3/4 ton heavy duty, and hey, man.
Well, but again, for the driving experience that I had with this vehicle, it was more like a luxury truck. Even though it is big, and you know it's a big truck, but we'll get to that in just a second.
Well, at least they're optional. If you think ahead,
it's optional. You can get it off there. Because when you get to the inside of it, we had the leather seating. The front bucket seats were heated and ventilated. The rear seat does fold up, but it was also heated. We had the wireless charging. We had the surround camera. You know, we had the big 12-inch Uconnect screen that you can split up. And you know, we had this 17-speaker Harman Kardon audio system, so we had this great sounding system in it. It's got the glass to kind of keep the road noise out of it. It's got a lot of insulation. I mean, it sounded good, and it drove really good. We had the 6.4-liter V8 up underneath the hood, 410 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque with an 8-speed automatic. You know, this thing properly equipped will tow up to its 19,000 plus pounds. So, I mean, that's a heck of a load that most people won't tow. Right. But it'll do it if you want to. Now, of course, the EPA, since it's 2,500, doesn't really rate the miles per gallon on it. But the week I had it, got 15 miles per gallon average for the week. Spent quite a bit of time out on the highway, and that's really where I got this confidence-inspiring driving experience with this vehicle. It just felt good. It felt solid, and it felt like, you know, you were connected with the road. It didn't feel like you were driving a big monster truck. Now, part of that was because there's two different suspensions available in the 2500. You can have the 5-link coil system, which is basically what everybody gets standard. But we had the air ride suspension on it. And the auto leveling on it, so it was always level no matter what we put in the back of it. So, but it gave it a firm ride because it is the 2500, but it was a nice firm ride. It wasn't like you were driving an off-road vehicle that bounces you a whole lot.
It wasn't going to knock the dentures out of your mouth.
No. It was just
firm, not stiff.
It was just a nice driving truck. Now, if you're looking for something to compare it to, of course, you're going to look over at the GM house, and you're going to find the Chevrolet 2500 Crew Cab 4x4.
Leaf Springs.
Starts $50,000 up in that range.
Leaf Springs.
The Leaf Springs. The GMC 2500's
Leaf
similar.
Springs.
The Ford F250.
Leaf Springs.
It's all up there.
It doesn't have leaf springs.
No, this does. The Dodge doesn't. That's the huge advantage why the ride quality is totally different than all these other big heavy-duty trucks.
Even empty.
Let me ask you something. What is the deal? Why do they still stick with leaf springs?
Cost.
It's so old school.
Cost.
But coil springs don't cost anymore.
Well, it's and the capability of the leaf springs and stuff, because you can bump them up to where you can put more weight in there versus the coil springs.
So you make the coil bigger around.
Yeah, but it's still the dynamics of it just doesn't work the same.
Whatever.
So anyway, so you can get a base 2500 Ram Crew Cab, 4-wheel drive, starting up around $38,000. There are 35 prices across the trim levels of these things. So, but a base Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 2500 is going to start at $52,350. Now, you got to remember, this is the Laramie. This is the luxury level of interior and trim that you hear so much about with the Ram trucks, generally in the 1500 series, but you can get it in the 2500. Now, our vehicle started at $52,350, right there at the base entry level point. But
Here comes the butt.
We had some optional equipment, including towing packages and technology and bed lighting. A lot of it was in that Laramie Level 2 equipment, and that bumped it up to $70,980.
But that's still in the range for everybody else.
It's very competitive, and some of them it's a little bit cheaper depending on how you equip the other ones. And it lives up to all the hype, in my opinion, that you see of the luxury interior and the ride that Ram has become known for over the last few years.
Thank you very much, sir. Time now to take a look at the car calendar. And I have one to add to it.
Go ahead
and that is the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In that's going to happen next Saturday. at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy on 99 the Grand Parkway at Kingsland. And it happens from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. It's a cruise-in. Bring your hot rod. If you don't have a hot rod to bring, fine. Park in another parking lot right around the corner and come and see, because it is a car show that is going to appear at 8 and then it goes away at 11. So I invite you to go into that.
And it's free.
And it's free. And we're going to be there.
And we have tacos.
And we're going to be there.
Bloody Marys
and we're going to be there.
And we're going to be there. And Don will have his hero cards signing autographs.
No, I won't. Yeah.
So this afternoon, starting at 1:30, is at Rudy's in Tomball, the barbecue place. And we had Stephen on earlier talking about Speed Advocates and their child's car show with not the Hot Wheels. What am I trying to think of?
The plastic kitty cars.
The plastic kitty cars. 3:30 p.m. is a car cruise, the Forest Cruise leaving from Tomball. And then tonight at 6 p.m. is the Nifty 50s, and this is their final show for the year in the Woodlands. Tomorrow morning is Houston Fall Cruise is leaving from Meyerland. They're going to go on a cruise down south. BMW CCA.
What time is that?
8 a.m.
Okay.
BMW Car Club of America is having an autocross in Hitchcock starting at 8:30. The Lake Houston Meet and Cruise in Humble starts at 12. And the Deputy Tim Shackelford Benefit Car Show in Montgomery starts at 12 o'clock as well. And that's it.
All right. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues after this quick break.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. The Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In in Katy returns Saturday morning, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. This fun and fabulous event attracts the best rides in town. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. The Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. Lupi's will have breakfast tacos, coffee, and the best cars, all at one location. The Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
This is the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. King Conrad DeLong, right off camera, is our video director. Jeff Zekin, I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this absolutely gorgeous Saturday in the fall, the week before. Is Thanksgiving this week? Or is
2 weeks.
2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, my God.
And then I'll be out the 28th because I'll be in California drinking wine with my daughter and my wife and my son.
And after a stop at Asia SF in San Francisco.
No, we're not going up to San Francisco this time. We're hanging out in Fresno. And
I've got a
Murphy's.
special invite for you.
I'm sure you do.
All right, moving along.
Through the back door.
That's exactly right. And
because they're closed. Anyhow. Oh God.
It's a long story. If you want to, if you're watching this on a pod or listening to this on a podcast, you can go back a couple of half hours and you could find out what we're talking about. And we'll just leave it at that. We're moving on now, and joining us live is Mr. Dale Hulquest, owner and proprietor of Elite Glass and Trim, and also NHRA Sportsman Boy Racer. You know, you've changed in
Boy
appearance.
racer.
You've changed a little bit in appearance since the last time we spoke.
He's still smiling.
Wait
though.
a minute. He's trying out for Santa Claus this year. Are you?
Exactly. Just in case the glass deal doesn't work.
got a fallback plan.
Yeah. So I assume that we are talking to you from the Hulquest garage out there in Crosby.
You are.
Well, it looks really good, and you know, I don't believe that I have seen in person that car behind you.
That's my Cobalt. I bought it last year. It was previously owned by Ken Howell. It was a stick car, a super stock car with a stick in it. I converted it over last year to an automatic and have had a lot of fun with it and a little success this year.
A little success.
I heard you grabbed a big trophy this year.
We did. I'm sitting here. Wally's sitting beside me.
Good man. Good man.
One of them. Yeah, that's the most recent one. We got lucky up at the Texas Motorplex at they call it a national open. Before the national event, we're trying to combine some events because of the COVID has shortened the series for NHRA, and so they combined two events. We got lucky and won the first one and almost won the second one. We runnered up at the national event 3 days later, so we had a lot of fun.
Wow. Well, we wanted to talk to you about that because, that was a back-to-back event with Houston. And as a sportsman racer, you've got to be kind of your tongue hanging out and breathing hard after the Houston event, after race number 2, because it's pretty much nonstop for basically 3 weeks in a row because you got to prepare and get to Dallas, race in Dallas, come to Houston, race in Houston.
They raced twice in Dallas.
I know. So, I'm thinking that
time-consuming as well.
Yeah, time-consuming, and we've all missed you terribly.
Well, it's a lot of fun, but you're exactly right. It's you've got to be committed. It takes a big commitment for the time and the expense and the time away from work. We were gone. Chris and I left Monday night for Dallas and got home Sunday night late and left for Houston Raceway Park Tuesday morning. So we were in town. I worked one day and then got back over there. We were at Houston trying to get parked and set up and to run the national here. You
mentioned that you were committed. Dale Hulquest, as long as I've known you, you've been committed to some sort of insane asylum, I think, something along those lines. Yes, the drag racing is not unlike other car things that we're all into, whether it's showing a car, racing a car, going to car shows. We're all committed to the whole genre of cars. And I know that your whole life has revolved around cars, and it actually started with you working at a trim shop way back in the day.
It did. I started back in 1986 at Dorsey's. Was a large glass and trim shop here in Houston. I believe they had 6 locations, and started there and was there for 4 or 5 years, and left and went to another glass company and made some connections, and through that I was able to purchase Elite Glass in 1999, and have had it ever since, and have enjoyed the working with them and all the customers, and made a lot of friends along the way.
Yeah, the car business is a lot smaller than people think, because that's where Dale and I crossed paths, was back in the late 80s, early 90s, out at Ron Kraft Chevrolet, which when it was down off of Main Street back in the original location. So that's
exactly.
you know,
I remember you from down there, Conrad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you were a rep for Oldsmobile or General
correct.
Motors.
Yeah, back then it was Oldsmobile, and then they were doing some trim work for us, and it was a great shop, great location, some pretty good managers there, and so I've known Dale that long. But again, it's just kind of talking about how small the car business is, and everything being known. I had Dale did some stuff on my Yukon when we got my Yukon back from my college son, and he had turned it into the party bus, and spill a drink and just leave it on the carpet. So we had to replace the interior and the carpet in it. They did a wonderful job. It still looks good today.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's done all of my work for as long as I have known him. I think I met you through Stan, if I'm not mistaken, and I know that your friendship with him continues, as well as the Emmons boys. Yes.
Those guys have had an unbelievable back half to the year here. They two of them, Terry and Jerry, won Indy, and then come back, and then they go out west, and I believe Jerry wins out there, and then Gary wins. So, it's just a toss-up which one you're going to catch and which one of them is going to put you on the trailer.
Well, it's all the same person. You just can't tell the difference.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
been accused of that, but I don't think it really happens.
Yeah.
They all look the same if you don't know them very well. Yeah.
So, do you compete against them on the track?
On a regular basis. They're always there, and they're always tough.
And do you ever win any races with them?
Infrequently, I do. Yeah, those guys are hard to beat. Yeah, they are.
I mean, do you shudder when you wind up looking at who you got coming up, and you wind up it's one of the Emmons boys?
When you're 62, you shudder every time you pull up to the
or at least you hope you shudder, right?
Check for shudders.
So everybody out there can beat you. I've been beat by all of them.
And you can beat any of them as well. Just depends on the circumstances.
Luck over the years, but everybody out there can beat you. This is a game of thousandths of a second, and it's amazing how much you can't control that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do the best that you can, but there's so many variables involved. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the fun of sportsman racing, though, as well, because it's the diversity of cars that you're facing and the diversity of drivers. But if you can be consistent, you can be successful.
Exactly. And we've had a fair amount of success, actually more success with the stock eliminator car, the Camaro. And it's a more fun car to drive. You actually are more involved. You're shifting the car. One foot's on the brake, one foot's on the gas. You actually have to stage it with both feet, and they monitor this. And it's more driver involved than the super stocker. You basically stage it, hit a button, and let off the button, and keep your hand away from the shifter because it'll hurt you when that air shifter shifts.
Oh, wow. So I see the 990 on the car behind you back there. Is that your last dial-in time?
That was the last dial-in, and actually we went a little too fast. I think we broke out 300, so we went 987 when we got to load our stuff up. Yeah.
So, and 987 will actually lose the race if your other guy didn't break out too.
You're exactly right, Don. Yeah, I was dialed a little softer than I thought. We had some challenging air conditions here in Houston, and the wind, and I missed it. And I was trying to take the finish line by the least amount possible, and so was he, I'm sure. And I got the finish line, but I got there 300ths of a second too early. Yeah.
300ths of a second. You
blink your eyes twice.
You don't even. It's not even an eye blink. Yeah, it's that fast. So what have you got to look forward to in 2021, sir?
Just getting the cars freshened up. The reason the car's here is the motor's out of it. It made its way back to Indiana yesterday, and then I'm going to move this one out of the way and take the motor out of the Camaro, and it's going to Shreveport, Louisiana, to get freshened up. So we're going to try to get the motors freshened and get them back in and get ready for February the 26th in, I believe, in Louisiana, No Problem Raceway.
Yeah.
And I know the Camaro's a 396. What are you running the Cobalt?
It's a 305. It's a 1987 model TPI motor out of a Camaro that was originally rated at 190 horsepower. It has a few more than that now, but that's what it's classified at. So it's considered a GT car because, as y'all know, Cobalts were originally front-wheel drive cars.
Shame on Chevrolet, right?
Yeah, we're getting them freshened up. The transmission's going to Waco, and it'll get freshened up. And try to have everything in optimal condition.
What are you running? You running a 2-speed in it?
No, in the Cobalt, both of them are 3 speeds. This is a Pro Trans in the Cobalt, and there's a regular it's a 200 metric, to be perfectly honest with you. In the Camaro, they were old Buick and Oldsmobile
right, yeah.
back in the day, and they're highly modified from that original state. But they're 200 metrics is what's in there. It's a 3-speed. What's in the Camaro, and again, this is a 3-speed Pro Trans.
And you know, one of the things I know I've kind of chased a little bit of business your way, but one of the things really at Elite Glass and Trim you really got to be pretty proud of is you probably have one of the last guys in the city that understands sunroofs from the 70s.
We do. James Mayer, he's been with us for 21 years, as long as I've owned it. But prior to that, him and I worked together at Dorsey's, and he is a gem. He really is.
Yeah, those early sunroofs, it's impossible to find somebody who understands how they work, much less can repair them and make them work again.
You're right. And all these panoramic roofs that these late model cars have today, we have a lot of business with import and domestic as well, that have these large 2-piece sunroofs in these cars, and we do several of them every week. Yeah.
That's why Don hates sunroofs.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take mine painted. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Yeah, the paint won't leak.
There you go. So, how's Chrissy?
Chrissy's doing fine. She's sitting right here beside me. Crew chief extraordinaire. Without her, I couldn't get all this stuff loaded and get to the racetrack, I don't think.
You know, I have to admit to you that I was actually at the racetrack. We did the show from there on Saturday, and we'd finished the show, and I don't know whether it was Saturday or Sunday, but I saw you guys pulling up onto the staging lanes, and I was going to say something. I thought, no. They're getting ready to race. You're in the car. Chrissy's walking beside it. I thought, oh, God, I want to say something. And time got away, and I just didn't have time to get by to visit with you. But I just wanted you to know that I've been thinking about you guys, and hopefully things are going well for you, not only at Elite Glass and Trim, but also with you and Chrissy personally.
Well, they are. And again, it's always nice to have, a partner and a companion that really enjoys what you do. I mean, I have some other activities besides racing, but Chrissy is involved in all of it and enjoys all of it. We like riding motorcycles. We race remote control boats. We race cars. We do a lot of things, and she enjoys it all, and we have a good time doing it.
And that way she gives you permission to spend money on it, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to get permission anyway.
There's that. Yeah, I'm sure.
The UPS truck is regular here in FedEx. My first name. Yeah.
Well, Dale Hulquest, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hopefully I'll see you soon. But we sure appreciate you taking the time today to talk to us here.
I always appreciate you guys. If I can, Don, I just got a text from the racetrack at HRP, and it says they're having an event tomorrow. I guess it says defend your vote and defend your flag. Starts at 2:00 tomorrow. It's free to everyone. And there's going to be local, state, and federal politicians there. Starts at 2:00 at Houston Raceway Park.
Be there.
All right. Well, we'll be there if we can or can't. Okay, Dale, we love you, my friend. You take care of yourself. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
Conrad and Mike, y'all be safe. If I can help you, holler.
Thank you so much. Great guy, dear friend.
I'm amazed. I can't get over the fact he's got a 305 that we used to think were junk motors, and he's pushing it sub 9 seconds in a quarter mile. That just dumbfounds me.
It's Dale Hulquest.
Well, I know, but it just that anybody can do that.
Yeah.
We used to throw those motors away.
Yeah. No, we didn't throw them away.
Well, nobody thought them as a performance engine.
No.
But that's the key to sportsman racing and that's what Dale's got down, is he understands how to the combination of the car, the weight of the car, and the engine, and how to work it to his advantage.
Wasn't that 305 in the 1976 Chevy Monza?
Yes.
It was in the Malibu and the Nova. It was in all kinds of things.
The engine's in 2 different places and the transmission's in 2 different
places.
Right. To get refreshed. So he knows.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Dale said it was an 87 model. I can still hear him.
Yeah, an 87. Yeah.
Don's still thinking of his Monza.
I only had that car for a year because the following year I traded it in for the first Corvette, 77 Corvette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you still you weren't working at the Chevy dealer at the time, were you?
No. No, I was in radio then.
Oh, he moved up in the world from buffing the paint off of all of the cars.
Right down the middle of the hood.
Right down the ridge.
Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. What is in the clinic today?
Is water good enough?
Is water good enough? You talking about for the radiator?
No, I'm talking about for your windshield wiper washer.
No, it's not.
It's really not. You really have to understand a little bit. You know, if you've ever run out of windshield washer fluid and you didn't have any more on hand and you've wondered whether or not it's a special fluid or you could just add plain water, really it is kind of a special fluid. You know, if in short run, if you need to throw water in it, you can. Make sure you put it in the cap that's blue. Some of the other caps that are under there that are different colors, you could seriously mess up your car by putting water or windshield washer solvent in there. But, you know, it's worth the time to take the trip to the store and buy windshield washer solvent. You know, if you ever live in a place where the temperature never gets down to freezing, it's not that big a difference, but the fluid that's in the washer solvent is specialized cleaning fluid to remove bugs, bird droppings, road grime, some of that oil and stuff that gets on your windshield and all that other crud that collects on the glass. So washer solvent is going to contain ingredients that are meant to clean those stubborn messes. Most of the products out there have a little methanol or some isopropylene alcohol in them, and also some ethylene glycol to make sure that the solvent doesn't freeze when it gets cold out. Not much of a thing to worry about here in Houston, but you want to make sure that using that correct product does what so it can do what it's supposed to. It's supposed to clean, but the other thing it's supposed to do is it's supposed to evaporate clean without leaving streaks behind. So yeah, if you're
that's only if you've got decent wipers.
Well, that was the next point on that, is if the wipers wipe correctly, the washer solvent is going to evaporate on the glass and not leave the streaks. And the fluids are formulated specifically to clean the windshields, do a better job than just plain water, as well as they won't freeze when it gets too cold. So use the blue stuff. It cleans better, it dries better, and it won't leave streaks because it'll evaporate. But one thing to remember is that don't leave it around and open, because it's not something you want to let some of the animals, cats or dogs or anything, take a drink of. So.
Well, it's funny because my daughter, the oldest one, that has the 2015 Challenger, she says, "Dad, I think I need new wiper blades." I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, it really doesn't wipe very well anymore." I said, "Have you ever changed them?"
Nope.
No.
So she can go to a parts store.
No, Dad's going to go to the parts store and get them. Her birthday is coming up, so it's going to be part of the birthday present gift.
Don't buy just the cheap ones. Go ahead and buy a mid to an upper grade. They usually have like 3 or 4 levels of wipers.
Actually, more than that. So I've been shopping them, and so I picked up a pair. They're 22-inch, so they're big, long ones. And I thought, okay, well, I'll pick this one. Ordered it. They were $12 a piece, which is about mid-range.
Yeah, that's a mid-price
$8 is the
cheapos.
cheapos, and then $25. I'm not paying $25 for a damn wiper blade. So I thought, okay,
for his daughter.
So I'll pay $12. It had a name brand on it and all that. So they're supposed to last maybe 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
Yeah. So I bought them.
Hers lasted 5 years.
And then I get a phone call. Wonder what that number is. Answer it. Hello. Yes, is this Mr. Armstrong? Yes, it is. Hi, this is so-and-so with Advance Auto Parts. I am sorry to tell you, but we don't carry that any longer. I said, can you order them? No, sir, we don't carry them even in the warehouse. Then why are they on the website? Well, sir, I can't answer that question, but we don't have them. We can get you something else. I said, I'll come in and shop.
Yeah.
So that's what I plan on doing. And no, I'll wind up probably spending $25 for the damn wiper blades.
The wiper blades
that you weren't going to spend.
Yeah, will range. Now, one of the things when you put new wiper blades on, get out the Windex and clean your windshield. And also clean the very bottom of the windshield where the wiper blades park. Because if you put new wiper blades on and you still got all that schmutz on your windshield, it's just going to streak anyhow.
Did he actually say that?
Schmutz.
That's a technical term.
Schmutz is Yiddish for moving dirt.
Info at in-wheel time.
Info at in-wheel time.
I didn't know you were Jewish.
No, but Yiddish. Well, I'm not Jewish, but I like Yiddish.
You have friends.
I have friends.
Schmutz is.
Okay. All right.
But if you're putting something in your washer solvent bottle, put washer solvent in it.
Yeah, and you know what? You can buy that stuff for $1.
Yeah, it's cheap.
It's very cheap.
$1, $2.
All right, time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, said Thursday it identified the 18th U.S. death tied to a Takata airbag inflator rupture after the review of a recent BMW crash. The safety agency said it had concluded the Takata airbag inflator ruptured during a September crash in Arizona that had led to fatal injuries of the driver.
Yikes.
Yeah. So,
So is
other
this one
deaths,
that had been
15 U.S. deaths in Hondas, 2 in Fords, and now a BMW. So if you have, check your vehicle, would you? And here's what to do. Safercar.gov, S-A-F-E-R, safercar.gov is the website, and all you have to do is type in the VIN number of the car. Well, I don't know where that is. I can't find it. Yes, it's probably in your wallet.
And it's on your insurance card.
It's on your insurance card. And so you just type in that 17-digit number, letter combination, and all of a sudden, if you type it in the little box that pops up on safercar.gov, it will tell you whether your car has been recalled or not.
And it'll tell you whether or not that recall has been completed as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of two-phase on that.
So just do that.
Check it at least twice a year. I'd tell you to probably check it more often.
Yeah. Speaking of recalls, Volvo recalling 54,000 vehicles for an... I swear I didn't do that. I bumped the button. My apologies.
No, I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at Jeff.
I thought
somebody's going to get in trouble because our phone is ringing.
This is also an airbag defect. Volvo,
known for safety,
2001 to 2003 model year S80 and S60 vehicles sold or registered in high humidity U.S. states, and that would be us.
Yes.
So there you go. There's another one that you can look up. In a bold move to sell more of its volume-leading Rogue crossovers, Nissan will bring Toyota to its dealerships. Automaker plans to put its arch competitor's RAV4 compact crossover on Nissan lots to show shoppers how the Rogue stands up head-to-head against the segment leader. Campaign coincides with the introduction of the redesigned 2021 Rogue, which is arriving now at Nissan stores. Through this September, the Rogue was the 4th best-selling compact crossover behind the RAV4, the Honda CR-V, and the Chevy Equinox.
So how are they going to catch up if they're going to go out and buy all these Toyotas to put at the Nissan dealership? They're going to give a little surge of sales.
Lease them a little bit or something, because but we've done that before at the media events we go to, competitive vehicle driving and stuff. So it kind of makes kind of sense.
You heard Ford unveiled an E-Transit, the electronic transit van, the electric transit
It goes
van.
150 miles.
Yeah, 150 mile range.
If you don't put your foot in the accelerator.
$45,000 price tag, and it takes it'll charge 30 miles in 10 minutes and 45 miles in 15 minutes.
I'm out. Thank you.
Mr. Range Anxiety.
Very much so. Lyft said Tuesday it's working on a new service to take a slice of the burgeoning food delivery market as it works to make up for a 48% drop in quarterly revenue and a slow recovery of ride-hail demand. Unlike larger rival Uber, Lyft has no food delivery business to fall back on, so now they are. President-elect Joe Biden's transition teams for the Environmental Protection Agency and Transportation Department will be run by several agency alumni who served under President Barack Obama and helped craft regulations like the Clean Power Plan and tougher fuel economy standards for vehicles. No surprise there.
I'm just biting my tongue.
I am too.
And
next,
BMW is reloading and forging back onto the EV battlefield with the iX, a full electric utility vehicle that will become the automaker's new technology flagship. The 500 horsepower iX, unwrapped Wednesday, is powered by 2 electric motors that drive all 4 wheels It's due to go on sale in the U.S. in early 2022. Here's a picture of it.
Because the
I don't know whether you can read what I wrote on there, but I said UGLY.
Because the i3 was such a success.
Yeah.
So you heard in 2021, Ram is going to offer the Power Wagon 75th anniversary truck again, with big 33-inch tires, a blacked-out gunmetal grille, and headlights, and special interior with the mountain brown leather.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to wrap up today's show right after this.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. The Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In in Katy returns Saturday morning, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. This fun and fabulous event attracts the best rides in town. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. The Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. Loopy's will have breakfast tacos, coffee, and the best cars, all at one location. The Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m. at Loopy's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, November 21st, 8 to 11 a.m.
Well, that's it for this episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like and tell your friends about us. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In-Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. 30-minute daily podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video and marketing whipping boy is Jeff Zekin. This week's In-Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by Steven Spielberg. For booking agent and podcast Candyman Mike Out of This World Mars, his royalty King Conrad DeLong, and Jeff Little Drummer Boy Zekin, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now, and we hope you'll join us again live next Saturday, 9:30 to noon, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Thanks for being part of the In-Wheel Time family. Enjoy your weekend. Keep it clean. We'll see you at Tailpipes and Tacos next weekend. Enjoy your week.